the bottles getting empty, up the cracking, we stacking chips, all of it's what I want. Plus money winners, that's what I'm on. You can say I'm gone. I prefer elevated pub sports radio. Time to get educated, get produced, leave the juice, letting loose with so much abuse that the bookies wanna call it truth. They getting slaughtered. Can't forget Jeff and low baggers in the chat. That's a lethal weapon, 'cause we be pubbing.
What up, cappers, gamblers, punters, hustlers, low baggers? Happy Wednesday, January 31st to all of you. Thank you for watching Betting with the Bag right here on Pub Sports Radio. Justin McKelvey gifting a Pub Sports Radio membership to get us rolling. Respect Justin. Stacks play of the day is in. It is Western Carolina -4.5. Let's make sure that is copied and pasted. And shout out to Justin getting my week started here with a blessing here. Let's get this locked in. Western Carolina. And that will be a game that we do discuss here on today's show. Western Carolina. I thought we had it. Yes, that is a Mikey Money game. Chattanooga Mocs versus Western Carolina. So we will discuss that. Brent Cook in the house. Our guy Collins Clip says Jimmy Cancer strikes again. Brother, my mother-in-law got the bad news yesterday, lung cancer. Says need some positivity and some prayers, please. So sorry to hear that. Collins Clips just seems to be unrelenting. Man, so sorry to hear. So if we could all just take a second, send as much positivity and good vibes and prayers and whatever, however you handle these types of things. If you could just take a second and send it to the family of Kong's Clips and to his mother-in-law and get her in remission and get her back home. So thinking about you, Kong's Clips. So sorry you got to go through that, man. So I'll just send as much positive energy as we can to the Kong's Clips family. Sorry to hear that, man. Kyle Hintley and sending the prayers towards your family right now as well. Same with Morgan Spooner. We got Viper MB in the house, and we'll keep rolling, but thinking about you, Kong's Clips, and the fam, man, and your mother-in-law. Viper NB is locked in. Joker over 8.5 assists. Van Fleet over 14.5 points. Van Fleet over 2.5 threes. And Pelicans money line -125 for a Viper NB. Let's get that in front of the NBA. My NBA has not been good, and after spending the whole season, we were really comfortably in the black. After a debacle on Friday, I am in the red. And need to fix that. Dutch Boy Fresh going to be rolling with us, so we need to fix that. Morgan Spooner says his favorite play of the day is St. John. St. John. So let me let you guys know what we are doing in college basketball just to get excited about it. We have CMac going to be rolling with us in NHL. First, we have 3 games on the card, and then his best bets are Alabama, Georgia, St. John's, Xavier. These are the games. So St. John's, Xavier's game number 2. Morgan will be CMac will be hammering it, and Baylor, UCF, Rice, Memphis, Penn State, Rutgers. Daby Cab has got Baylor, UCF, Wake Forest, Pittsburgh, Florida, Kentucky, and then Mikey Money, Northwestern, Purdue, St. John's, Xavier, Richmond, Fordham, Chattanooga, Western Carolina, Lipscomb. Oh, let me fix this. Sorry, here we go. Lipscomb, North Florida, and then he closes out his shop with Boise State and the New Mexico Lobos. So we'll be talking all about that. New worker in the house. Smooth Ball's play of the day is the under in St. John's Xavier. Let's have that set up. And thank you, Jay Smooth, for giving us that. Let's get that set up right in front of the game that CMac will be breaking down here. Locked and low. There's series business ready to get to work. Morgan Spooner, St. John's money line, and 2 units on the round robin with St. Joe's, Rhode Island, and Richmond. Interesting. Have that locked and loaded for us to discuss. Locked in. And thank you once more to Justin McKelvey for gifting the Pub Sports Radio membership, getting us started today. Subhuman Gaucho in the house. Joey Harb ready to get to work. 101 Benny. What a group. Kelly McInnes ready to go says, giddy up, let's get racing. Yes, it is Wednesday, which means we will be having a horse race for all of the gold members here on Pub Sports Radio. The winner will score $50, $50, which is also the buy-in for our poker tournament this Friday. Every single rule that we wanted is in, except for there's only one break an hour in. So I'll get the breaks every hour. That'll be the next tournament. But this one has everything we want. $50 buy-in, 1 hour late registration, 1 hour of rebuys. When that hour is up and late registration is over, there's a $25 add-on. And we're in business. $50 bounties on the head of Jeff Slaughter and myself. We'll see who else wants to put a bounty on their head, but $50 on Slaughter and myself. We need signups. We had a huge tournament, 48, not huge. We had our best tournament last out, 48 people were in it, and we want more. We want to crack 50. It's going to be money up for grabs now because we got the rebuys and we got the add-on. So the password is Pub Sports Bowl. Pub Sports Bowl. Jesus, look at that. How do I keep talking about Pub Sports Bowl when Real Deal Prime says my baby girl was born this morning? Oh, wow, Real Deal Prime. That's wonderful, wonderful news, man. Congratulations. You're going to love it. You're going to love it. When my firstborn, Ella was a girl, obviously, and I remember I wanted a boy. I wanted a boy, and Ella came in. And I remember I was talking to a friend of mine who has 2 daughters, and I was like, and he's like, oh, you're gonna love having a daughter. He kept saying, you're gonna love it so much. And his big line was, you think your son is gonna be at your deathbed or your daughters? I was like, oh, you're right. The daughters will be there for sure. Now maybe the son will, but the daughters will be. Wow, Real Deal Prime, congratulations! What wonderful news. Baby girl in the low bag fam for Real Deal Prime. I love hearing that. That is absolutely wonderful. Absolutely wonderful news. And Kyle saying girls are so loyal. Love their dad. I love it. And look at that. Nasty Nate says Airbnb booked for him, Razor Cab, Big Show, and Schnizzle. Man, you got that's going to be popping, man. That is going to be popping. I will be there at that spot. To the late hours, I am sure. That's just wonderful news. All right, we got a lot of work to do. The nuke worker in the house, and Kelly McInnes, and a lot of love going to Kong's Clips and going to Real Deal Prime. This the 2 most eventful things in life going there. Being concerned about one's health, worrying about somebody not being around, and then having somebody enter the world. So both happening here on the show, and that's what life is. And it's a roller coaster ride of emotions. There is Clint Starr, the diehard MMA podcast this morning, everybody. His action is in for UFC. A must copy and paste from our guy, Clint McLean, always sharing his action with us. We thank you for that, Clint. Let me get that right under Dutchie's NBA record. I'll have that. Make sure I'm locked and loaded for that. Saturate says driving back from the Ohio State game. Let's win some money. Robert Franklin in the house. Adrian A ready to go. Resisting it all is on Kentucky, Florida under 171 and a half. Let's have that copied and pasted before we talk about that game with Dabra Kadabra, the Magic Man. Get that there. What wonderful news, Real Deal Prime. There's Marcus McCarthy in the house. Nate Dogg 420, JT Eel, Kyle Hintley and ATP Montpelier tennis. I don't know how it's Mayo. I'm guessing it's Mayo. It might not be. Moneyline minus 185 for Kyle Hintley, and then a lot of love going towards Real Deal Prime. What wonderful, wonderful news. So great to hear from all of you guys. Great to see all you guys. Voodoo Ranger 95, Res Mob, Let's Dance, Kenny Ken, Von Polo, and Ping Pong. Are you serious, Nate? Well, then Daby Cab will get what he has wished for. I hope he's been training for the last year, because I'll give him that rematch that he so desires. Just hope I won't be a shaky mess when we play. But I'm in. I'm down. I am in. Ian Shaber says, headed home from hunt camp. Finally, 400 miles of road ahead, but be listening to y'all. Let's get that cash. There's James Parham. So we have a couple cappers driving right now. Saturated and Ian Shaver. Drive safe. And let's get you paid while you're on the road. How about that? Let's get you paid while you are on the road. All right, we have a lot of work to do. But the most important things are the horse race. We have 48 gold members, 48 cappers in our horse race. Oh, we're going to go an hour? Did you decide to do it an hour or 2 hours? Let me hear the voice of God.
Yeah, totally up to you. Totally up to you. We can do whatever. Giving people some time to sign up during the show, the program. It's nice to see everyone. Remember, it's only $9.99 to sign up. But totally up to you. I just put it up there for example.
Yeah, let's do a 2-hour race, and we'll start the race. We'll have CMac get it started for us right after NHL.
Sounds good.
All right. Brent Cook says 1 hour is better. This is a probably. And Kelly says set alarm so we don't miss the finish. Okay. So $50 up for grabs. Well, let's get into NHL and bring on your first guest. He is his camera not on, but I know he's backstage, so he'll be ready to rock in NHL with us here shortly. But let's get right to work here. 7 p.m. Eastern, we start in NHL, and let's bring on your guest every Wednesday for NHL and college basketball, coming to us from Las Vegas, Nevada, starting our week off in a very, very important week for me. Last week was not good. Very, very crucial. Even today is crucial. The next 48 hours are crucial for me. Just win. Just win. That is the saying for the next 48 hours. Just win. Please welcome from Las Vegas, Nevada, Mr. Migida Mac Daddy in the house. What's happening? CMac, how are you?
Jimmy, I am good, my friend. Great to be here. On Wednesday, a little under the weather, but feeling better now. Just need some coffee, get rolling. I got to give a shout out, as you did earlier, to Real Deal Prime. Congrats, my guy. Just a great guy, for real. Congrats, my dude. Supported us for a long time. Supported Pub Source Radio from the beginning. So congrats to Real Deal Prime. If you didn't know about Real Deal Prime, guy's got a crazy broadcaster voice. It's unbelievable. If you ever heard his voice. Yeah, and back in the Discord. Yeah. Oh, it's unbelievable. He's got that radio, broadcaster, fucking crazy. You gotta hear it one time. We gotta get him on camera.
Let's get him on camera.
Yeah.
Camera. I love that. I love hearing that. Jay Peasy, by the way, heading home from Ventura, says the horses will probably be done racing before I get home. Jay Peasy, drive safe. Everybody on the road right now. Leonard Porsche Jr. says I listen on the road every single day. So all you guys driving right now, drive safe and let's get paid. Slatsy says got pounded by the Blues last night. These games before the All-Star break are just too volatile. I had that huge day in NHL a couple weeks ago. And I've given it all back and more since then. And, part of me is like just craving this All-Star break. Just to get refreshed and regroup. And this was a tricky card where I could attack them all. It's such a short week of action. And in the end, I felt like the edge was too great in this first game to stay on the sidelines. I'm also very interested in moving on the second game. So let's see if we can get the NHL, just like capping can weigh on you. It can also bring you your highest highs. It's just that is what we do. And that's part of the reason why we love it. But this has been a rough week for me. And I need to bounce back. So let's get to work here with the Ottawa Senators, 19-25-2, 6-13-0 on the road at the Detroit Red Wings, 26-18-5, 14-8-4 at home. We're at Little Caesars Arena in Detroit, Michigan. Jonas Korpisalo, and he is the reason why I had to bet. Well, no, he's the reason why I just said you got to bet. But the main reason I felt like I had to bet this is because I think the Senators should be better than they are. And where is their biggest problem? It's on the road. 6-13-0. They've won 6 games in regulation in 19. Secondly, with the Senators, they come back last game against the Predators. They score 3 goals in the second period on 3-0. They win the game in overtime. And the story from the Senators was this is our turning point. this is where, we dug deep. We're going to turn it around. And at first, I believed it. Maybe I'm just a romantic. I just want some teams to succeed and some players to succeed. And at first I was like, this could be their turn. But then I started looking deeper in it. What is the problem? It's Jonas Korpisalo. So what do you believe here? Do you believe that when we saw the Senators play the Rangers, Korpisalo was pulled after 4 goals? When the Senators beat the Predators, Korpisalo came in and shut the door. He came in after they allowed those 3 goals. He came in and shut the door. Is that going to boost Korpisalo now? Is he going to sit there, with the momentum from coming? Because we often talk about these goalies or these athletes who are dealing with, their heads just not in the right place. It's easier sometimes to come in out of nowhere, not be expected to play, just come in there loosey-goosey. Now you're starting all for 48 hours or 24 hours, that you have an .888 save percentage and a 3.43 goals against average, and you're one of the worst goalies statistically in the NHL. Am I truly going to sit here and think, yes, the Senators are going to bounce back? I was surprised when I saw the market move pretty immediately to Ottawa, and I thought, is that because that wasn't a good homestand? They lose 2 of the first 2 games, then they have to come back from 3-0 down and win. I felt like I had to bet, Detroit, but this has been yo-yoing all over the place. This opened up at -130, which I would even think it would be a -135 spot, -140 even, maybe -135 would be the limit. Then this goes all the way down to -115 last night at 8 p.m. And I was looking at it when it was -115. Then it comes back. When I moved at -125, this was -128 at Pinnacle at the time. It was -125 on Bet365. Then again at 9:30 in the morning, there's another move back to the Ottawa Senators. Who do I believe in more than anybody on the ice is Alex Lyon. 2.49 goals against average, 924 save percentage, 2 shutouts. The Senators season is over. What do I care that they came back? I'm not going to romanticize that bullshit. What do I care that they came back? In the end, I felt there was too much value on the better hockey team right now. And it doesn't matter that Patrick Kane's not there and Ben Sherratt's not there. They'll both hopefully come back after the All-Star break, or Matt Luff's not there. I'm happy that Ville Husso is not in. He finished his conditioning assignment in Grand Rapids, and he's come back and he's sick. Also, this is game 5 of a 6-game homestand. I mean, this is the perfect time to back a hockey team. Maybe you don't want them after the All-Star break, in their last game or their first game back in the last game of the homestand. With all of that being said, I felt myself, Travis Hamonic out with upper body injury. Dominik Kubalik has returned after missing 4 games. All it's said and done, I just felt like I have to bet the Detroit Red Wings here. And I don't. And should I be concerned that the line is the way it is? Maybe. We'll hear what CMac has to say about this. Nutflush says, I always say you should tread lightly going into All-Star break. It's pretty easy for us to tread lightly. There's 3 games today and I think 2 tomorrow. Like, there's nothing really going. It's a pretty easy. They've set us up to tread lightly. So I moved on to Detroit Red Wings -1. I also, when I was capping this game, I thought, God, there's going to be goals scored. And then when I went to the total, I was like, I wonder what this 6.5 is going to be. And it was a 7. Look, I'm on the Red Wings -1. I think that Korpisalo is in his head. I think that Nuke Worker saying Sens just want to get to the break. They already checked out. See, that comeback did mess with my head a little bit. And at first I kind of liked it, but I got over it. I'm on the Red Wings -1. It's my only bet that I've made on this entire sports card coming into the show. Take it away, CMac, Senators, Red Wings.
Yeah, I mean, do you take, you mentioned the homestand, the back-to-back losses, and then that comeback win really is a big thing. I don't. I think that's kind of what the Senators are. You know what I mean? I think they're a team all year. They'll drop 4 or 5, and they'll have a couple of games where they look great. At times they can score a bunch of goals. But you were hitting it right here. I get why you want to fade Korpisalo, and especially at this price with the Red Wings. And you mentioned it. You really didn't want to go higher than -130, 135, and I don't blame you. And the other key is you want Alex Lyon in net for the Red Wings. I don't blame you. It's just a matchup here. And I guess you could tread lightly. I'm going to stay off in the end. but I think I think the Red Wings have been playing pretty good hockey too. I think they've won 4 or 5, right?
They've been playing very good. Yeah,
or they've won 3 or 4. 3 or 4. Yeah, that 4 or 5 loss to the Stars too. I watched a bunch of that game as well. So I like your bet. I don't mind it. We'll get into it even more about goals in the next game. And whether there's 7, I'd only be on the under, even with this going on. I mean, you got to get 8 to beat you. So I lean under, and I like to play with the Red Wings. I just didn't move on it.
And Slatsy brings up the Joseph knocked out Dylan Larkin. I mean,
yeah,
that I hope it's not a situation where there's some violence on the Red Wing side that will be penalized and put them in a bad situation. But it's an important point that you bring up, and that I should have. So
yeah, what do we get, Jimmy? Too? Do we get it? Are we going to get a lot of penalties? Sometimes these games before the break, there's just not a ton of them. Like middle of the year, and we're just a little tight. Everyone wants to just get in, get out, because everyone's going to have what here, Jimmy? 10 days off. It's a pretty good break the NHL has. It's like 9 or 10 days, right?
Why is that?
Why isn't it? I mean, some of these teams that like play today, they'll
a 1 week break.
Yeah. I'm saying they got a nice long break compared to other sports. It's All-Star break.
Jeez, I've never heard of that long of a break.
How long is this break? I thought it was about a week.
It's just a weekend. Yeah, it's just
a week. Okay.
Yeah.
I thought it was a couple of days. Where some of these teams, it could be, I guess, if they play their last game. But yeah.
But yeah, I you know what? And here you hear Stimmy OG, who's such a good capper. He's on the over in Ottawa. If this was just a situation, which and I know it works really well in NBA and college NBA, you think of that Thunder Pelicans game. The line comes out with a Thunder is 1.5 dogs on the road. Just 1.5 dogs on the road. And you're like, what? Shouldn't, Pelicans are rolling right now. Shouldn't that be a 2.5 or a 3? They put out a line that would make you want to back the Pelicans. I get it. This is a line that came out, with this move to the Ottawa. It's very fishy. But under Detroit is playing really good hockey in the 5th game and 6th game. How could I not bet them? That's what, and maybe this line is telling me not to, but in the end, with Korpisalo starting, with, even Slatsy adding the revenge from Joseph knocking out Larkin, and Kent Davies says, first thing I thought, why is this line so short? See, Kent Davies, I don't care about that in NHL, and maybe I should. And maybe I should start just tracking these spots but I've always said it for 6 years of doing this publicly with you guys that in NHL, when things are too good, don't worry, there's nothing that's too good to be true. You can simplify this sport easier than others. So, with it all said and done, I'm on the Red Wings -1 at +125, and that's it. So let's roll on here. So let's roll on. So that's my only spot that I bet so far. Let's roll. Next up, 7:30 p.m. Eastern, Los Angeles Kings 22-15-10, 14-6-4 on the road, and Nashville Predators 26-22-2, 13-12-0 at home, Bridgestone Arena, Nashville, Tennessee. Look, I'm just astonished that Tom McClellan has a job. I'm astonished that the Kings aren't going to do what so many teams have done with success, is that midseason coaching change to buoy them into the stretch drive. We're still like 6 weeks, 5.5, 6 weeks away from the trade deadline, so there's still a lot of time to go. I'm just astonished at this. I can't believe that McClellan still has a job. I'm not usually that kind of trigger happy guy to fire a coach, but clearly I think this team is so good, and they looked that way for a little while. And now they've fallen apart. Obviously, I'm invested in them, invested in them in the futures market, which makes things even more uncomfortable. Bo Jackson says Kings have been a profitable fade. I can't think of a more profitable fade ever. I mean, these guys are the favorites. Against St. Louis, that line blew my mind. When I saw -160, I was like, how could the Kings possibly be -160? Now, I didn't have the balls to take the Blues, but Talbot versus Saros. Let's take a look at the line history here for this one. Just 3 games in NHL before we move on to college basketball. This opened up with the Kings -116. They're now -110. Nashville's gone from +103 to +100 over at Pinnacle. And from a total side of things, This is a 6. It's minus 111 to the under. So, okay, I really, really am interested in the under in this one. And I'm just a little nervous about moving on totals before the All-Star break. If you look at the Panthers, I mean, the only game to go over in recent history for them was that last game at Ottawa.
Yeah.
And then for the Kings, all their game, well, not all, a lot of their games have been going over because they've been getting such poor play from no, Kelly McKinnon. We're starting the Ponies right after this next game, and CMac can get started for us. But so the Kings have to be playing a playoff type hockey game here on the road. I mean, their whole season, they've kept their coach. I mean, he's got to be losing his mind here. They've lost 4 straight games. They lost 14 of their last 16. And 6 of those losses have come after regulation. Quentin Byfield's missed the last 2 games with an illness. He's expected to be back in the lineup for this one. The Predators are a tough team. And, you know, I'm a huge Luke Schenn fan. He's one of my favorite players in the NHL. With McDonough, they have that, you know, defensive accountability. And they just lost the game after being up 3-0 after the first. They've lost 4 or 5, and they're completely healthy. There's my guy Coin in the house. Great to see you. Slatsy says Dubois, the Kings' big signing, played 13 minutes last game. What a disaster. So
There's just a disconnect with him going on. You know.
Oh, he's been a problem since he came into the league. But I would like to bet the under. I don't know if I can do it just because of Talbot. But, God, it's screaming at me that this game will be a lower scoring game. Take it away for us here at CMac Kings Predators.
Yeah. I like the under here, and I'm on it. I'm going to bet it. I got to be on it. I think the Kings do play a little bit tighter. You know, in this losing streak you're talking about, and even last week, all those goals to the Sabres team. The Sabres team that had scored more than 3 goals seemed like forever. Jimmy, that was just awful at home for the Kings. So I think we get tight hockey. We want to go into the break with the Kings. They just keep sliding. They've just been awful, awful. The numbers are just horrible. You could just keep going on and on. The losses. They've been really bad since right around Christmas, a little bit over a month after the hot start. After being 11 and 12 and 1 on the road to start out, and I think they're 1 and 8. So there's no magic on the road anymore. They've been awful at home. I love Nashville at home. I think they're gritty. Saros and Talbot running red hot. Now he's having to play a lot more here between the pipes, you know, with the injuries they've had. And that's kind of hurt. But I think they kind of step up here. I think they want to get in, get out. This is a close game. People put it in the chat. Was it Jim in here? A few others. Robert Franklin. I think this is one you could sprinkle the draw. I wish it was a little bit higher than 310, but everyone's seeing what we are. This game should be tight. But I think Kings go down again. We keep saying it with the Kings. Like, when are they going to turn around? I think it's got to be after the break. Like, I don't even need in the headspace that they're in. And it might need a change. But maybe it's going to take, like, near the deadline for them to finally pull the trigger here and get a new coach. Not right now. But I'm on the under here, Jimmy, and I had to take the Preds. I think they win here. And I don't mind the draw, too, if you want to sprinkle it. I'm not going to put it in here for the show, but I don't mind that play at all.
Well, we got you plus 102. Unless you can beat that anywhere, let me know. Plus 102 for the Predators available. Yeah, I think I'm going to join you on the under, and it's not going to be enjoyable. I tell you that it's not going to be a fun game to fucking watch. Let's move on to the final game on the card before we get into our horse race and college basketball. 10:30 p.m. Eastern. Next up, San Jose Sharks 13-32-4, 15-9-2 on the road at Anaheim Ducks 17-30-2, 7-17-1 at home at Honda Center, Anaheim, California. I forgot to switch out Mackenzie Blackwood. I know that he got the shutout last night. So is it Kakkonen who's in between the pipes for the Sharks? Do you know?
Yeah, it's Kakkonen.
Kakkonen. Going up against John Gibson. Gibson's list. And Stimmy OG is on the Kings. There's UPK Ayash Yala in the house. Coin saying, don't catch the LA falling knife. Yeah, no, I hear you, Coin. And I'm not going to try to. Well, you guys have watched me try to. and lost money doing it. And so San Jose power play 16.7%, penalty killing 72.2%, Anaheim power play 18.4%, penalty killing 78.1%. Honestly, I've been holding in anger from Sunday's football. Holding it in to like I still had it this morning. I'm starting to feel it kind of break off a little bit. It didn't go away. I tried to take a day off so that I could, come in ready to rock. But I've just it's been a bad week and a half for me, and I can't sustain bad weeks right now. I put my unit size up, and my bankroll is just not big enough to sustain, too many bad weeks in a row. So I need to roll here badly. San Jose power play 16.7%, 72.2% penalty killing. Anaheim 18.4%, 78.1% penalty killing. Sharks are on the second half of a back-to-back after having defeated the Kraken 2-0 last night. McKenzie had the 32 saves for the shutout. Thomas Hertl missed the game with a lower body injury. The Ducks coming off their second win in 3 games, 3-2 in Minnesota on Saturday night. So it's a very fresh Ducks team. And it's probably impossible to bet them at this number. It probably is just an impossibility, but this number is there for a reason. I completely understand why I've not heard anybody on the Ducks. I mean, how could you possibly be on a team this weak as this big of a favorite? But the Sharks without Hertl coming off of the shutout, you're going to have Kokkinen. God damn it. Am I going to talk myself into the fucking Ducks at this number? The total opened up at 6 minus 108 to the under. 106 to the under, excuse me. It didn't come out to 430 this morning. Now it's minus 103 to the under. So a slight, tiny move to the over. There's Perky in the house. Thank you, my friend, for the kind words. Stimmy on the over 6 in the Sharks game. Let's hear what CMac has to say. Take it away, Sharks Ducks.
It's kind of just because we're coming to the break. And I usually steer a little bit more to the under here, Jimmy. But I kind of lean over. This is an over series, especially after last night with the Sharks 2-0 win. They look good because Kaapo Kähkönen is in net. And we all know, been around for forever, can give a ton of goals. So can Gibson. So I just got to keep that as a lean here on the total. I think it could get there. The Sharks, I thought, were good last night. This Sharks team's won 4 or 5. This team's playing good hockey. And there's no way you could bet the Ducks here. I just haven't moved on it yet. I think you play the Sharks at this price or nothing. I know the Ducks are rested. These teams did just play last week. It was a 5-3 win.
Yeah, 5-3 win for the Sharks in San Jose.
I just think this price is still too good. I mean, it is a little telling. Ducks here are rested, and they're finally playing a little bit better hockey. I just can't take them at this number. So,
but don't you feel like that's why the number is being put out there?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Because they know that nobody.
You want to go against the Sharks right now, though, even on the back-to-back with Cock. I just don't want to bet it. Then I guess that's why maybe I just. Do you want to lay -1 with the Ducks?
I mean, that's the only option here. Look, I don't want to. I don't want to.
Yeah.
Wow, they're not even offering me a -1 on the Ducks right now. Jeez, I have to build it myself. Wow, Pinnacle's not offering a -1 right now. It's Pinnacle's been cutting the -1s on some of their games here recently.
Really?
Yeah, just I mean, usually they show up later in the day, but I mean, -1s are the spot. Robert Franklin says Sharks at this price, but of course, God. This is the kind of bet you make where you can't function if it loses, It'd make you so angry. Ducks team totals at 3.5. Nut flush 3.5 to over 3.5 is plus money, plus 100. Joey Harp says walk away. I can't walk away from this. I hate this so much, but I truly believe that the number is being put out because nobody in their right mind would take the Ducks as this big of a favorite. That they're only going to get Sharks money with Kokkinen and net in the second half of a back-to-back. Oh, God. So this is a 5-2 Ducks win written all over it.
Yeah. Yes. 4-2, 5-2.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, Jose, Sierra, we're all big fans of Mikey Money. He's going to be here on the show in a minute, and I'm glad that you are a fan of his. All right, Ducks -1 here. And the under. All right. Okay, an NHL spreadsheet play today from our Ron Crawford is the Detroit Red Wings. Also, it means that Stimmy's on the Ducks too. It also means I got to be sitting there till 1:30 in the morning. Bo Jackson snagged a ticket for the All-Star game this Saturday. I love hearing that. And Nuff Sean giving us a final score of 5-1 Ducks. All right, well, that is NHL. I'm going to get the spreadsheet play today for Ron Crawford down as well here for Baylor Bears spreadsheet play today, and then OKC and NBA. Thank you for sharing all that with us, Ron, my friend. Well, let's pull up the horse race. Well, we pull up the horse race here. We have a 48 gold members every Wednesday and Friday, a $50 horse race here. So without further ado, CMac, can you get this race started for us, my friend?
Yeah. Start it, baby. Bang! Get it going.
And we are off and
running.
Philly Eagle Flyer firing right out there quickly. And there's Dave Burke, Berkey baby on a flight to Newfoundland as we speak. He's going to be in doing stand up over on the Rock for a little while. We have Joey Harb coming up the inside, moving briskly at the moment. We are off and racing right now. There's Teron T making a move here. So $50 up for grabs. And speaking of $50, you win this, immediately enter our poker tournament. Our poker tournament this Friday. So we have it.
Yes.
All the rules that we wanted are there, except we only have that one break after an hour, but whatever. I'm still pumped up for it. We had our best turnout last week, and we really want the support. If you guys can, it means a ton to us. We'll start doing them more and more if we get the support. So that's the pub password, Pub Sports Bowl, rebuys, bounties. We have add-ons. You could throw add-ons, $25 add-on. Maybe $50 buy and $20 add-on. We could add some bells and whistles to that thing, but thank you for adding the password, Jose. So that's this Friday. Jose's going to be hosting the live stream. I'll be right there with him, so please enter. All right, it is time to get into college basketball best bets here. Our horse race is on. CMac, while I get this set up, how did college basketball go for you yesterday?
It was all right. We had a little bit of a winning day. So we had Colorado State that won. Loyola got killed. Illinois, Murray State under was money dead under from the get-go. Ball State was the other loser, just didn't come through. But Georgia Tech, North Carolina under. Georgia Tech got the win there too. Yeah. And what was the last one? Oh, my last ad at the very end was Michigan State. Got their team total over 78.5. So pretty good day. So I'll take it and let's keep it rolling.
You gave out an under last Wednesday that cashed by, I think, 44 points.
Yeah. I hope we can get more. There's more on this card I want to be on, to tell you the truth. I mean, we're getting some unders. But I need to look at it more, a few of these games.
Well, let's get rolling, shall we? We have best bets from 3 of our cappers all in succession. I love these Wednesdays and Thursdays where we have all 3 of you guys firing away. So let's get right into it. Here we go. We have CMac, then we have Daby Cab, and then we close with Mikey Money in the house. And we start with a big one. So let's roll. We start at 6:30 p.m. Eastern. The number 24 ranked Alabama Crimson Tide. You were on Alabama last Wednesday in a very tough game against Auburn, which they covered. 14-6, 6-1 in the SEC at the Georgia Bulldogs. 14-6, 4-3 in the SEC. We're in Athens, of course, for this one. After that 79-75 win at home over Alabama, Alabama put up 109 points in their last game. Just a huge performance there. Saturday at home versus LSU, 109-88. Georgia, on the other hand, went to beat LSU at home last Wednesday. 68-66, just got past them. And then they went to Florida and lost 102-98 in overtime. So they've lost 3 of their last 5, 2 of their last 3. Let's get into the line history here for This one from a spread perspective here, we're going to be using Bet Online lines here because they get their lines out first. So two things, the Bet Online poker tournament, and of course, if you need a new account on Bet Online, do it through our website. They'll give you 100% bonus, 100% bonus up to $1,000, and all the other bonuses that they give out on all the other places, that's with Bitcoin only, and not with us. So it's a
you can use like your debit card for that, right?
It's a great thing we got going on with them right now. And we have our poker tournament, of course, as well. So let's go over the line history. This opened up yesterday, 1:46 p.m. at 6. It quickly went to 5. Went down to 5, back up to 6. It's been bouncing all over the place. At this point, there's only been a 5-cent move to Alabama. The number has not changed. From a total side of things, we're dealing with a 166. This opened up at 166. It dropped down to 165. It got back to 166 this morning around 8:20 this morning. And then when we look at the cash flow, 76% of tickets and 94% of the cash is on Georgia. 76 and 94, and yet this line is not moving towards them. We have 65% of the tickets on the over. We don't know about cash flow at this point. Take it away for us here, CMac. Your first best bet on the card, Crimson Tide Bulldogs.
Yeah, looking at this morning, because I got to send these in. Last night, I always don't like seeing the money, like you just talked about here with Georgia, and it hasn't moved. But I think it might here. I think that there's a little bit of hold. Alabama's playing so well right now. Play great at home, scoring a ton of points. They've just been excellent. Georgia's off that loss. We're getting blown out, came all the way back and covered against Florida. I was worried they were finally kind of going to have a bad game on the road, but ended up being a close game. I think it went to OT. I can't remember that 102.
Yeah,
102,
98.
98. Yeah. Other thing I think that's maybe not moving, they have a little bit of a flu going on here with Georgia. Their point guard, Justin Hill's got an ankle problem. One thing, though, he's pretty big, but this is a deep Georgia team. They don't just play 5 or 6 guys. This is a Kansas, some of these teams. They are deep. So, I mean, with him missing, it could be big. But I got to take them here at home. When I break down all these games, I just think they're too close. One thing with Alabama, so they've gotten 2 road wins on the year. Was it Vandy by 3, I believe? I think the other one was Mississippi State by 8. They lost at Creighton and they lost at Tennessee by 20. I think this is a classic. This team's really good at home off a 109-point game here, Jimmy. And the big win last week I was on versus Auburn. Now they hit the road. And Georgia, even with some worse teams in the past few years, has had some success against Alabama at home. I think they're a better basketball team, one of the best teams Georgia's had in a little while. They're 11-1 at home. I wanted to wait here to give it out, but give me the 6. I got to take Georgia. They might not win this game, and I think they're in it. I got to be on.
Yeah, Alabama's just playing so well.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
But, head out on the road against an angry Georgia team. And we can get you 6.5.
Beautiful. Yeah, give me that 6.5.
So the only 6s are at, like Will Hill, MyBookie, and Bet Online. They're all 6.5s offshore at this point. So we can get you that plus 6.5. And I wonder if we can get you with lower VIG than -110. We can't, but we can get you that -1. Oh yeah, -108. So let's get you that plus 6.5 at -108 for CMac. Here we go. Plus 6.5 -108 for Alabama, Georgia. Slow Jams Arsenal says total maybe a bit inflated, also under maybe the play. Perfect Rotation says Georgia should low-key be on the skids, being a tough month for them. Brent Cook saying Georgia is better this year than usual. They my team, but I still don't trust them. Billy Briz on the 6.5, FanDuel at -120. Wine Time Sports also liking Georgia, but not on it officially at this point. And Perfect Rotation and Perky on Bama here. Robert Franklin on Georgia as well. Perky on Bama as well. So, all right, we're going to roll on here. CMac is locked in on Georgia plus 6.9 -108. Let's move on. Next up, we have St. John's Red Storm 13-7, 5-4 in the Big East. And Xavier Musketeers 10-10, 4-5 in the Big East. We're in Cincinnati, Ohio for this. And Jay Smooth gave us the smooth balls play today. That is the under 157. St. John snapped their 3-game losing streak with that big victory last Wednesday at home versus St. John's. They have a big rest advantage over Xavier, who went and had to play UConn on Sunday. So a big rest advantage for them here. Xavier, 2 tough road games. They had to play at Creighton and at UConn. And the Creighton game was on Tuesday of last week. So 8 days ago. And then they played Connecticut on Sunday. And they lost by 43 at Connecticut. A truly awful performance. So you'd have to expect the bounce back here. And maybe it's good that they get back on the floor again so soon. St. John's beat up on Villanova by 20 last out to snap their 3-game losing streak. So take a look at the line history here for this one from a spread perspective here. We have St. John's right now at +1.5. There is a 2 there, but it's a +1.5 at Bet Online. They opened up St. John's at +1. It got up to +2 and then back to +1.5. So we have a half-point move to Xavier right now at Bet Online. And from a total scenario, we have 157. We heard our guy, Jay Smoog, trying to get under this. This climbed up. This opened up at 155, and the initial move was to the under to 154. It's all the way up to 157. Not only that, but it's juiced to the over 157. And then when we get to the cash flow here for this spot, we have it. It's 50-50, man. 49% of the tickets, 49% of cash on Xavier, 34% of tickets, and 90% of cash on the over. 101 Benny says Xavier spot for me. St. John's is mid. Robert Franklin on Xavier money line. There's our guy Razor Sharp picks in the house. Ray D'Amico giving us his looks for Virginia Notre Dame. We'll copy and paste that. Thank you for sharing that with us. And Billy Briz says St. John's to win the Big E, sitting at +10,000. So 100 to 1 there. Wild. Justin McKelvey also on Xavier money line. Raven in the Desert on Xavier money line. Let's hear what our guy CMac plan is. Take it away, CMac. St. John's, Xavier.
Yeah, Billy, if you do that, I think St. John's needs to win this game. So we'll see if they can do that. Off 3 straight losses, they had the big win. But I don't think Villanova is just that good, obviously, this year. That was a great win at home, 20-point, 70-50 win. And for real quick on this total, St. John's games just haven't been getting over this number, Jimmy, really all year long. So I didn't move on it, but I think it's worth to look at. And on the flip side, though, Xavier has gone over a little bit and scoring a little bit more. St. John's, one thing, not a great team from 3, 32%, 70% from the free throw line. One thing, they still play quick here, 11th in the country in field goal attempts, with 64.8. So they want to get up and down. I don't want them here off the big win. I want Xavier off the 2 losses. They covered at Creighton there. They snuck in there 85-78. And they just get the doors blown out at UConn. Someone just put in the chat, who was that? Ken Davies. Yeah, St. John's does have UConn up next. I think it's on Saturday. But Xavier here at home after the losses, I think this is a great spot for him to get a win, which I just don't think the St. John's team is very good. Just at a bucket here. Jimmy, give it to me. Is there 1.5? Because I really don't want to go money line.
Yeah, why don't we just see what the money line is, and then we'll take a look at. So the Bovada hanging a -120. Bovada Bodog Pinnacle -121. So we have a -120 if you want, or the -1.5, and -1.5, -110, the lowest there. So what would you prefer?
Give me the -1.5.
CMac is in -1.5 at -110 here. Play makes a ton of sense here. Did you have any thought of first half as well, that they're going to come out of the gate strong?
Yeah, I just had a little, I've talked about my issues there. I feel like I have to double up. I think they do come out strong. It's just some of these occasions where I think this is going to happen, Jimmy, I've lost. And it's like, it scratched my head. Not all the time, but it's happened to me before. Well, they'll be down by 2 points, and then they have a great second half and win by 10. You know what I mean? And have that great second half coming out of the locker room. So I get it. It's almost would be a double up for me there, or split type bet.
And this makes so much sense at this point. Stimmy OG giving us looks on Fordham plus 2.5 and UNC Greensboro. And Perfect Rotation saying this game is identical to yesterday's Nova game where the home team is systematically the play, but the road team is just overall better. And Morgan Spooner on St. John's money line. So I think Spatino.
Are they really that much better? I mean, St. John's, I mean, maybe a little. I mean, go through the wins and losses with these two teams. I mean, maybe I don't think they're like way better.
Stimmy on Fordham. So we're going to talk about that spot, Richmond, Fordham, and Rez. We're going to talk about your spot as well. So we got lots of action here on the show in college basketball. There's going to be a ton as we move forward, especially with the All-Star break. Like this week, it's just going to be hour and a half of college basketball, pretty much at a minimum. So it's going to be fun, and we're succeeding in it. So let's keep rolling. Jacqueline in the house. Brizzy says Xavier first half thoughts coming off the 43-point loss. Yeah, I mean that makes sense. I've not doubled up all year in college basketball. Oh, I guess a couple times. I've tried so hard not to, and this would be one there where I'd almost want to. But Morgan Spooner says St. John's money line's my favorite look today. Says St. John's walks away in the second half. Okay. Here we go. And DC Capper loving your look on Georgia plus 6.5. Let's roll on. Next up, we have the number 18th ranked Baylor Bears, 14-5, 3-3 in the Big 12 at the UCF Knights, 12-7, 3-4 in the Big 12. We're at Edition Financial Arena in Orlando, Florida. And the spreadsheet play of the day is in, and it is those Baylor Bears. Shout out to our Ron Crawford. Baylor here, 3 straight losses. Last one was in triple overtime at home to TCU. 2 of their 3 losses have come in overtime because they also lost to Kansas State at Kansas State 68-64. They've lost these last 3 games. You include that Texas loss. They've lost these last 3 games by a combined 9 points. So this is an angry Baylor Bear group. UCF's lost 2 of 3, coming off an ugly loss at Cincinnati, losing by 11 there, 2 of their last 3 of their last 5. They also have Texas as the similar opponent, but the UCF went into Texas and shocked everybody and beat them 77-71. So here we go, Baylor, UCF, and they have the exact same rest situation. They both played on Saturday. Let's get into the line history here for this one. Sorry, thought I had it set up. I do not. We have Baylor right now as 3-point road favorites, -3 at -108. This got up to 4 at one point. This was down to 2.5 last night, so it's kind of been all over the place. But right now, we're sitting with a 2-cent move. That's it to UCF, just a 2-cent move. When we get into the total in this one, we are sitting here. Sorry, here we go with a 138.5. This opened up at 139. It's been around here. It got up to 139.5, went down to 138.5. It's back at 139 now. So we have a 5-cent move towards the over. And then when we take a look at the cash flow for this spot here, that's set up too. I apologize. It's a 50-50, another 50-50 spot on the spread. 48% of the tickets, 50% of the cash on UCF. And then 80% of tickets, 75% cash on the over, and it's not really moving in that direction. Billy Briz says Baylor's an overrated, talented team, but I don't know. Give me fraud vibes for March. And Perky says Baylor, seriously, my favorite pick of the year. DC Capper on Baylor -3. 101 Benny already hammered Baylor -2.5. But Wine Time on the other side. He's on UCF +3 in the under 139, while Robert Franklin's on Baylor -3. Take it away, CMac. Baylor, UCF. And remember, we're also going to hear this game with Daby Cab. So we're going to get side and total on this one. Take it away, CMac.
Baylor off the 3 losses here have not been good. I think it's a great game for them to get back on track. But I don't know how good they are. And come March, when we get there to the tournament, if they're really gritty, we will see. A lot of things change the last couple of months. But I've seen them enough where they can score and they can shoot it well. But in this game here, off a 105-102 loss at home to TCU, now they go on the road against a UCF team that's just not very good scoring it. At least they're gritty. And one thing I think they're going to do in this game is drag this drag this into a rock fight here. Jimmy, they have to. They can't go up and down with Baylor. They don't have it. They don't have the scores to do it, and they're going to. They're going to hold the ball until the end of the shot clock here. So you went down at the last 10 games. All these games basically have gone over. I know they played Bethune-Cookman. That game went over. And Texas, you highlighted that earlier, was the only other game on the road that went over this number. BYU at home, 63-58. They beat Kansas 65-60. 72-59 Georgia. The few road games against Cincy, 68-57. Houston, 57. They only scored 42. They can't get into the 70s. I don't think this game stays under. I want 139.5. Like you were saying, I think that's gone. But if you can give me a 139 with all right juice, I want that.
Yeah, the 139 at this point is the highest we can get you. But we can get you it for, regular VIG. In fact, we can get
Regular
you
VIG?
at 108. Under 139 for CMac here. Sorry, let me move this here. Under 139 at minus 108 for CMac. He is in business. We roll on now. We're going to come back to this, so don't worry. We're going to hit this game again. Let's go to 8 p.m. Eastern. We have the Rice Owls, 7-13, 1-6 in the American at the Memphis Tigers, 15-5, 4-3 in the American. We're at FedEx Forum in Memphis, Tennessee. Let's get into the situation here. Rice coming off 2 straight losses. I was on them last Wednesday, and if I just had taken them the first half, they were immediately fouling down 12. It was so hard. I had them plus. I either had them plus 12 or plus 12 and a half, and I lose by 13. But they were immediately fouling, and it was just driving me crazy. They were right in the game, up until 8 minutes left, and then it all fell apart for them. They followed that off with a very tight home loss to Tulsa, 85-83. Now they head out onto the road. They haven't been awful on the road this year. Memphis, though, an angry group coming off 3 straight losses. It started with that home loss, 74-73 to UCF. Then they lose by 2 to Tulane, head to UAB, and lose by 9. So that they lost by 9 on Sunday. So Rice does have a one-day rest advantage, but they are the ones traveling here. Take a look at the line history for this one. We have sorry about that. I had it set up here. We have Rice sitting as 14.5 dogs. God, I'm just getting flashbacks here. Open up at 15.5, now down to 14.5. So a 1-point move towards Rice. The problem here is you don't have a fat and happy favorite. You have an angry favorite here. From a total scenario, from a total scenario, we're sitting here at a 155. Opened up at 156, so we have a 1-point move towards the under. So a 1-point move towards Rice, a 1-point move towards the under. And let's get to the cash flow here. Sorry, I should have got to get this up better here. So from a cash flow, we have no information on the total, but we know that 25% of the tickets and 47% of cash is on Rice. And, everything would be telling me to join them. The problem is you want your big double-digit favorites to be fat and happy, and that's not happening here. Take it away for us here, CMac. Owls, Tigers.
Yeah, Memphis, especially too over the years, they've just blown out this Rice team. Last week it got me, but I got to go back to it in that game, and it was kind of just one of those games that happens during the year where it goes under with FAU and with Rice, where they just shot it bad. But I've seen enough of these two teams and their defenses that I got to be on the. I think Memphis can score 90 here, and I like Rice. I think they're a little bit underrated. That was a little bit of a bad beat last week, Jimmy, because I like the points there too. That was shitty. But Rice still gives it up. I mean, they went right back to it with Tulsa, 85-83. I don't love going over in these 150s. I talk about it a ton. These were two of the teams at the top of the list that in every category in the 300s, and I've seen them play enough. And in some of these games with Rice, with these same teams like South Florida, as long as you're not playing Temple and that weird game with FAU, they're all in the 80s here for the most part. And I think Memphis is a little bit pissed. They just get up and down, I think Rice could get into the 70s and maybe hang around in this game. But I had to be over. If you give me a 154 is what I want. I want the over.
This is a funny one. Every single book offshore is hanging a 155 at minus 110. Well, Heritage has given you minus 108. But
yeah, I see 155 over.
Yeah,
that's all right.
Over 155 at minus 108 for CMac in Rice, Memphis. All right, let's roll on. This is the spot that our Res Mob wanted to talk about. So we're going to do just that. 8:30 p.m. Eastern. We have the Penn State Nittany Lions 9-11, 3-6 in the Big Ten at Rutgers Scarlet Knights 10-9, 2-6 in the Big Ten. We're in Jersey's Mike Arena, Piscataway, New Jersey. Take a look at the line history. Let's go to the situation here. Penn State's lost 2 straight, 4-5. They lost at home 83-74 to Minnesota. That was on the heels of losing 79-67 at Ohio State. So they played Saturday. Rutgers played on Sunday in that loss, 68-60 at home to Purdue. And they played tough, much better than they looked at Illinois last Wednesday when they lost 86-63. They got absolutely pummeled in that one. Also have lost 3 of 4 has Rutgers. Last time they were at home, though, they beat Nebraska 87-82 at home before that Purdue loss, of course. And before that, they beat Indiana 66-57 at home. So Rutgers at home to Penn State. Let's get into the line history here for this one. From a line history standpoint here at 8:30 p.m., we have I thought I had here we go. Right now, Rutgers 6.5-point favorites. They opened up as 7-point favorites, got up to 7.5 at one point, but now they're at 6.5. So we have a half-point move towards the Nittany Lions. From a total perspective, we are sitting here with a sorry about that. With a 144. Sorry, let me move over back to Bet Online here. We have the 143.5 at Bovada, 144 here. This opened up at 142.5, got up to 145, then dropped to 143, but sitting at 144 right now. So a 1.5 move towards the over. And then cash flow wise, we have 22% of the tickets and 35% of the cash on Rutgers. So Penn State, a public dog here. And then 27% of tickets and 54% of the cash on the over. So feels like Rutgers as a side and the over are, where the bigger bets are coming in. I won't call them sharp, but where the bigger bets are coming in. Robert Franklin looking at Penn State plus 6.5. Kent Davies says, want to bet Penn State, but that Rutgers home crowd is crazy. Let's hear what CMac has to say. Final spot on CMac's NCAA basketball card, Penn State, Rutgers.
Yeah, side-wise, I think you like Rutgers here at the rack, but a team that plays this slow and doesn't shoot it well, I can't do it. I can't lay the 7 here, even though I think they get the win. I just don't know if it's by 7 or 8 here. So they're off the back-to-back losses. The one at home better. And this is the key for me here, because I'm going up against it a little bit, is they just play different at the rack. Different defense here at the rack. They just lost 68-60 to Purdue. That one game with Nebraska did go to OT. It probably would have went over before OT. I have to dig into that 87-82 game. But everything else here at home is a dead under, Jimmy. The last 10 in this meeting, under. And they all would go way under this number here, 144. Rutgers is just going to slow this down. And Penn State's an over team, one of the better over teams all year. I think they're 13-7 to the over. But they have to just drag this down, Penn State, slow it down, play their style of game, Rutgers at the rack. So at 144, give me the under here.
Let's get that under. The number is big, and we know their shooting issues. We also know their home court advantage here. Did you have interest in them first half at a smaller number to take care of business, and then maybe their shooting catches up to cover the big number? Was there any interest in the side for you?
Yeah, it's Rutgers. So, I get it first half.
Would you, if you were given a $500 free bet on the side, has to be the first half or full game, what would you lean towards?
I'd probably go first half with them. I just worry with a team like them, this 6.5, 7, I talk about it a ton. They're just not a team that I want to, even at the rack, I just want to lay these points with it. You know what I mean? Like they beat Indiana by 9. I think they win. I just don't know if they cover here.
Over one. Oh, sorry.
Under.
Yeah, my bad. Sorry. So we can get you the under 144 minus 110. Can we get minus 108? I bet we could at Heritage. No, minus 109. So that's what we'll give you. The under 144 at minus 109 here. And there we go. Perky Sanderson saying Rutgers had all balls, no sack, says Perky. There we go. We have lots more college basketball to come, but let's review CMac's action here. He's on Georgia plus 6.5. He is on, Xavier minus 1.5 at minus 110. He's on the under 139 at minus 108 in Baylor UCF. He's on the over 155 in Rice Memphis, and he's on the under 144 at minus 109 here at Penn State Rutgers. CMac, thank you so much for rocking with us here. We have the Saturday live stream next up for you, the big Saturday live stream here on the channel, and we need you for the poker tournament. I hope that you can be a part of it as well. But thank you for rocking with us. Please follow CMac on X at Conor Mac Picks, and of course every Tuesday on the Peter Loshak Show, every Wednesday here on Betting with the Bag. Any last words for the Cappers supporting the show, my friend?
Thanks for having me, Jimmy. As always, it's a blast. College basketball, full swing. I like that DC capper. Someone just put Wake Forest. I think Cab's doing this game. These were the couple other. I like the over in that game. I think Cab's going to be on. I think he's on the side in it. I'm not so sure. But my other leans, Tennessee, Mercer, East Tennessee over 137, UCF, ECU under 139, and the ugliest dog, Belmont's a little bit there, DC capper. This team is what, 1-8 or 1-9 on the road. And they could get blasted, but they're 8-1 ATS on the road. It's Valpo catching over 20 at Drake. So take a look at that because it's on my mind. I've been thinking about some of these all morning. Thanks for having me. Appreciate it. Shout out to the chat. Best chat ever. Appreciate it.
Man. Respect. There he is, our guy Conor Mac Picks. Let's take a quick look at the horse race, see where we stand. We are 30 minutes deep, and there's Daby Cab and Juan Ruiz, and there's Berkey on the inside. Browns Hughes coming up the middle. Browns Hughes looking strong here, tightly bunched those 48 horses. And there's BT, our guy BT, also making moves strong, pulling him up there in that top group. Billy Briz, Justin McKelvey, our last winner of the $50 horse race. And K-Wolf also looking strong early. Okay, we will come back and revisit. Let's bring on your next guest, being very strong here on our show. 27 and 20, hitting at 57.4%, plus 5.02 units. ROI, plus 10.68%. Impressive. Average line minus 110. Please welcome from Dallas, Texas, the star of Medicaid Mondays and our live bet show this evening. Our Wednesday night All About the Hoops live basketball betting show, college and NBA. Daby Cab and Dutch Boy Fresh will be co-hosting it. Please welcome Mr. Daby Cab to the show. Daby, how are you, my friend?
Jimmy, I'm good, man. You know, these Wednesdays and Thursdays are my favorite, man. Getting up here to cap college basketball, it doesn't get better. Now, that horse of mine, we got to have a talk about that because, most horses can take a shit when they're running. Mine stops to take a shit every race. He walks over to the side and he just stops and he hovers over, takes a shit, and then he decides to get back in the race. See, there he is. See where I'm at now? You saw I was in the front just a minute ago? He took a shit.
Yeah, that is, you got to watch the feed. You got to take a look at what the feed is here, because maybe it's not, all I just peppermints. I give my horse peppermints nonstop, but we need to know what Director 97's been feeding his horse, our only two-time champion.
That's crazy that he won the first two, isn't it?
It's nuts. It's
just crazy.
It's nuts. It's nuts. Nasty Nate right up there as well. Browns Hughes. All right, we're hour 26 minutes left in our horse race. There's Tori Coker in the house. And Rez, you got to mean -7, right? the Rutgers, the big fave there.
Jimmy, I got to do one other thing, man, because you're too humble. You're not going to do it. So I'm going to do it. There's 3 things right now that we're basically capping, guys. And I'm not even capping NHL, but there's 3 things: NHL, college basketball, and NBA. Look at this motherfucker's record sitting beside me in college basketball. Look at his record in the NBA. How the hell do you have a nerve to make some dumbass comment in the chat earlier, Jose? Look at the record. Numbers don't lie. I just had to do that, Jimmy. My bad.
My NBA record is slipped, unfortunately, and NHL's not being good. But thank you for having my back.
You're in the black in the NBA, correct?
Not anymore. After my weekend, I've slipped into the red, sadly.
Well, you will be today.
I was up double digits in both, but it hurts. But college basketball has been extremely helpful, and I need a week. I badly need a week here. We got a great group, and we got Daby Cab ready to rock. So, Daby Cab, let's get into Baylor UCF. We have set this game up already here on the show, and we had from our guy CMac giving us the under 139 at minus 108. Ron Crawford gave us Baylor here, an angry Baylor group. So take it away. The floor is yours, my friend.
So you got this Baylor team. And I just want to say this. If Baylor was ranked in the top 5 and people wanted to say, hey, they might be overrated, okay, I'll listen to that. They've lost 3 straight. They're ranked 18th. They're not overrated. You cannot tell me this Baylor team is not one of the top 20 teams in basketball, because they are. End of story. They come into this contest 12th in scoring on offense. They're putting up 85.1 points per game. They're 156 in rebounding. They're not the best there, but very good at, dishing out assists, 15.8 per game. That's 48th in the nation. And they're above average defensively. They're 158th in the country on defense. They're allowing 71.1 points per game. This offense for Baylor, though, and the depth of this team is where I get, on the rant saying, yeah, they're definitely a top 20. You got, Jacoby Walter. He's one of the 5 players that they have in double digits, putting up 15.2 points per game. You got Ray J. Dennis. He's putting up 13.3 points per game. You got Langston Love, who's putting up 11.5 points per game. Their big guy, Messi, putting up 10.3 points per game, along with 6.2 boards. I'm going to keep going here because they've just got players. This team is deep. Jaden Nunn, he's only putting up 9.6, but he's capable of putting up 20 on any night. Jalen Bridges, he's also putting up 10.6 points per game. It's just the depth of this team is insane. It is so deep. They might not be clicking and firing on all cylinders right now, but they are very, very deep. You look at UCF here. They've alternated wins and losses in their last 8 games. Some of those wins have been big. The one on the road against Texas, I know that's standing out in people's mind right now. But then again, you look at what they've done. They come back, against Cincinnati. They had a huge run. They were tied with 5 minutes and 15 seconds to go before they gave up a 9-0 run right there. So they just fell apart at the end. And that's what I think the problem here is going to be. If you're talking about 40 minutes of basketball with this UCF versus Baylor team, I just don't think they're going to be able to keep up scoring wise. This is a distinct clash of styles in this game. You've got one team, Baylor, who's an extremely explosive offense, while you've got UCF, who's just a stellar defensive unit. Who's had huge issues on the offensive end of the floor. I just want to say that again. UCF has really struggled on the offensive end. And with Baylor having those 5 players averaging double digits, they shoot the ball well, especially from the perimeter. And one thing to look at is Baylor has not been shooting well in Big 12 play. Since Big 12 play started, I think their number is only at like 29% from 3. Just terrible, especially for the 4th best 3-point shooting team in the nation, right? It's a number that I expect to adjust and to get better. I think this is just a smash spot for Baylor here. As good as UCF has been against big schools, I think Baylor bounces back here. I think they come on the road, and I think their offense is too much to handle for UCF. So I got Baylor full game here. And I think at the end of the show, I'm probably going to go ahead and throw on first half here too.
Wow, look at that. A possible double up spot here for Baylor. And you've tweeted it out.
I got the full game. I haven't tweeted out the first half yet. That would be I would have you line shop for me on that.
And what did you get on the full game?
2.5.
Baylor -2. A regular vig?
Yeah, -110.
All right. We are in business here for Daby Cab Baylor -2.5 full game. And we roll on. Sharon went with Baylor first half here. Lucky lefty on that over 65 first half. Let's move on to the next spot on the board. Wake Forest Demon Deacons 13-6, 5-3 in the ACC. The Pittsburgh Panthers 12-8, 3-6 at Peterson Event Center here in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Take a look at the situation here rest-wise. Wake Forest lost 2 of 3, 3 of 5. They're coming off the 85-64 loss at North Carolina. And that was last Monday. So that was 9 days ago last time we saw Wake Forest in action. So a rested group, a lot of practicing. Pitt played on Saturday, losing at Miami, a tough Miami squad, 72-68. They'd won 2 straight on the road, playing good ball. In fact, they'd been losing at home, and then they went on the road. They win at Duke, 80-76. They win at Georgia Tech, 72-64, and almost complete the hat trick by beating the U, but they didn't. They lost 72-68 in a tight one on Saturday. So big rest advantage for Wake Forest, but Pitt playing good basketball. Let's take a look at the line history here for this one. We have a Wake Forest right now at Bet Online at -1.5. This opened up at -1.5, but it quickly moved to a pick'em. Then it started moving again to Wake Forest, -1, -1.5. So there had been a 3-point move really at that point. This is by yesterday afternoon towards Wake Forest. And then all of a sudden, a 3-point move back to Pitt, and we're right back where we started. In fact, Pitt is a little bit, has been juiced a little bit here, 4 cents. So we're right back from where we started. And then from a cash flow side of things, God, sorry, I had the one thing set up, but I didn't have the total set up. Sorry, then I said cash flow. My bad. From a total side of things, we're sitting here with a 143.5. This opened up at 142.5, got up to 144, and then dropped 1.5 points. And that big drop was just 10 minutes ago. So we had 1.5 points drop 10 minutes ago here. Kyle Hindley and looking at Pitt money line. Let's see what the cash flow has in store here for this Pitt spot. God, sorry, too many games up. I shouldn't have had this set up the way I did. We'll give it 5 more seconds of search. And here we go. 53% of the tickets and 67% of the cash is on Pitt. And then you have 62% of the tickets on the under. Take it away for us here at Daby Cab, Baylor Bears, UCF Knights.
The line movement in this is just crazy, man. And I was watching this one last night.
I said Baylor Bears, UCF Knights like an idiot. Sorry. Wake Forest, Pittsburgh.
You're good. I knew who I was talking about.
Thank you.
This line movement, though, it's just crazy. If you noticed, I tweeted out 2 bets, and this one was the only one that I haven't moved on yet, just because I was just sitting here watching this line just go back and forth. The Panthers here, they're averaging 75.9 points per game. That's 138th in the nation. They're doing it on 43% shooting, 33.8% from beyond the arc. So that leaves a little room for improvement there. They struggle on the free throw line, which is one thing for me. If I'm going to back a team full game, they better be, especially in a spread like this, they better be able to make their fucking free throws. Pitt doesn't do that. Pitt's only shooting at 68% from the free throw line, and I think that could be very critical in a tight game here. Defensively, though, Pitt has been one of the more robust teams, only giving up 66.9 points per game. They're effective in limiting field goal percentage. They're holding opponents to 41.4% shooting percentage. They're really impressive from 3-point, also holding opponents to 30.3% percentage. So they're a really stout defensive team. Just offensive numbers leave something to be desired there. And then you look, Wake Forest, they're remarkable on the offensive end. I think Wake Forest should be a favorite in this matchup, even on the road here. I'm a little shocked that they aren't. And where I'm looking at pulling the trigger here is taking that plus 0.5 point in the first half here. Wake Forest is averaging 80.2 points per game. They're doing that on 47.1% field goal efficiency. And they're from beyond the arc, very impressive, 38.2% beyond the arc. They're one of the best offenses in the ACC, flat and simple. They have firepower. They're exceptional on the free throw line. I talk about how that's important in a close game. They're almost 80% as a team from the free throw line. I think that the Wake Forest team here is just their ability to get to the basket and capitalize on free throw opportunities is going to give them the edge in this game. I really do. They've got offensive depth on their side. So this is another one, Jimmy. I'm going to add either Wake Forest or Baylor first half. I might add both of them here at the end of the show. I just want to go through the next game. But I'm looking at Wake Forest here in the first half. This is the only one that I haven't pulled on yet, though.
Sounds good, man. Sounds good. Well, you got time here. And our guy, Justin McKelvey, will boots on the ground at Peterson Event Center. I can't wait. And Justin going to be at San Antonio with us at Palooza. God, I'm so excited. It's coming up soon, man. It is coming up soon. We have the stand-up comic booked for Sunday night.
I can't wait.
It was a quick peek of Jose and I roadside from back in the day. But yes, I cannot wait. Palooza coming together here for us, and we're so excited about the trip. And we're all a lot of us are getting in early. And I know, Daby Cab, you've locked down your lodgings here. So
yeah, we got it. I'll be there Wednesday, Jimmy. So I'll get there early. I got to be there Wednesday. We got to get in the studio on Thursday. Like what?
Got to be, yeah. No, without a doubt. God, it's gonna be so much fun. So there. I can't wait, man. I'm just like sitting here in the cold thinking about it every day. All right. We'll see if the addition happens for our guy, Daby Cab. Let's move on to 8 p.m. Eastern. We have the Florida Gators 14-6, 4-3 in the SEC at the number 10 ranked Kentucky Wildcats 15-4, 5-2 in the SEC. We're at Rupp Arena in Lexington, Kentucky. Resisting It All has already given us the under 171.5. By the way, Cody Norton looking at first half money line as well. But let's take a look here at the situation. Both teams playing good basketball. Both teams have won 3 of 4. Florida's won 3 straight. They won at Missouri 79-67, then beat Mississippi State at home 79-70 before beating Georgia at home 102-98. So they're playing well. It was a tough loss at Tennessee, an ugly one, and then they bounced back with 3 victories here. And then Kentucky bounced back from that very ugly loss at South Carolina by 17 by going into Arkansas and beating them by 6. And now they are back home where they've been playing very good ball. So that's the situation here. Rest-wise, they both played on Saturday. Line history-wise here for this spot. Damn, I don't have it set up the way I was hoping to. So let me just grab this here quickly. 8 p.m. start for this one. We have the total as the highest on the board, sitting here at 170.5. We already heard Resisting It All on the under. This opened up at 173.5, and it dropped all the way down to 170.5 until there was buyback. Went up to 171.5, now back to 170.5. So we have a 3-point move towards the under from a spread situation here. We are sitting here with Kentucky at -6. They opened up at -7, got down to 5.5 before there was buyback. So we have a 1-point move towards the Gators. Take a look at the total in this one here. Sorry, here we go at there we go, 8 o'clock. For another spot, we've had a bunch of these today where it's 50-50 action, 47% of tickets, 48% of cash on Kentucky, and then 33% of tickets and 68% cash on the under. There we go. Take it away for us here. Daby Cab, Florida Gators, Kentucky Wildcats.
I tell you what, it's music to my ears that Baylor and Kentucky aren't huge public favorites. Like I love hearing that, if I'm being completely honest, because I was worried that either or both of them could be coming into this. You know, this isn't the first time these two teams have met. Last time they played, in Florida, Florida was up by 8.5, but then Kentucky just absolutely dismantled Florida in the second half. The Gators, they've been one of the better offensive teams in the SEC this season. 3rd in conference in scoring. They're 4th in field goal percentage, 8th in 3-point percentage. So they've been outstanding. Find ways to win games like that one against Georgia where, they had to put up 102 points in overtime to get the win. Might not have been the prettiest win, but, a win is a win. I think the coach went on record saying that afterwards. This Florida team, they're sitting at 4-3 in conference play. And it took a 3-game winning streak to get them there because after they lost to Kentucky, they went on a bit of skid. This Kentucky team, they're ranked 6 right now. They've won 3 of their last 4 games. The last one was that 63-57 win over Arkansas on the road. Reeves led the game. He had 24 points. Even though he had a slow start, he hit just like one of his first 5 or 6 shots, but he finished 9 of 20 from the field, including 4 of 8 from 3-point range. Reeves has just been one of the best guards in the country. He's been fun to watch. Very critical role for this Wildcats team. But, you know, I said it already. The first game was a tale of two halves. The Wildcats fell behind by 8. That's just because Florida was hot as could be in that first half. They were 8 of 20 from 3 points in the first half. They hit 8 threes in that first half. And you look at what the Wildcats did, they hit just 1 of 10 threes in that first half. So it was just a completely lopsided game for half of the game. And the Wildcats still pulled away and won the game. Kentucky is the better team. That's it. I'm going to say that simple and plain. Kentucky's the better team. They're more efficient on offense. They have a better three-point game, even as good as Florida's been. They underutilized that three-point game in the first one. I told you they were just 1 of 10 from the first half. And they were still good enough to beat the Gators. I'm going to say here, I think the Wildcats, I think they win this game by 10, 12, 13 points here. I really don't think it's going to be even come down to the last couple shots. In the first game, Florida lost the turnover battle 11-9, which is an improvement for them. Usually the Gators are careless with the basketball. And I think in this game, I think we're going to see the numbers be a little bit more than what I expected. I think they played as good of a game as they could the first time, and they still lost. So I think both teams, you know, put up some points here, but I think Kentucky pulls away from the Gators. Kentucky's sitting at 10-1 right now at home. This is one of the toughest arenas to come play in. I don't see any reason why they don't win and cover the spread here. I got Kentucky full game.
Kentucky minus 5.5, minus 110 is what you got. It's interesting that it got down because it was 5.5 at all the books here last night. So
I saw it at 6.5, and I was very close to pulling the trigger. And then I saw that 5.5, and I was like, no, I got to go now. As soon as I saw it, because I knew there was no way it was going to go under 5.5.
Perky loving it as well. Kentucky minus 5.5 for Daby Cab. So do you want more time to make your decision about Baylor first half and Wake Forest first half? Because you don't need to force that.
What can you get me on that Baylor first half?
Let's line shop right now. Baylor first half for you. We have there's a -1, which means there's one -1. The rest are there's a couple -1s. There's one at minus 110. And then taking a look at the money line for the first half, we can get you. It's expensive.
Okay, don't worry about that money line. I'll go ahead and move on that -1 first half.
All right, -1 at minus 110. The cheapest money line is minus 130.
Yeah,
so,
no.
Okay, so Baylor first half -1, minus 110, and then full game -2.5, minus 110. And then at this point, you are staying off of Wake.
Yeah, I think I'm going to stay off that spot. I think they should be a favorite in the game, and it's bugging me that they're not. I'm going to kick myself when they cash because I don't know if you know this, Jimmy, but there's 3 times I've capped a game here since we started this year that I stayed off, and all 3 of them cashed. So if Wake cashes here, I'm going to have to stop being waffling, as our guy Mike would say.
Well, the most important thing is you're succeeding overall.
Yeah.
So, just win. That's all we want you to do is just win. So, Daby Cab in business here. Double up on Baylor first half and full game. Brent Cook says Wake should cash. And then Cab is on Kentucky -5.5. Daby Cab, tell us a little bit about the big live stream this evening for All About the Hoops, and then roll it into Pubapalooza because I know you got your spot. So why don't you do both those things, my man?
Yeah, tonight, guys, All About the Hoops. I know you see me and my guy Dutch right there, but our guy Mike M, who's about to be on here, jumps on with us. Billy Briz jumps on with us. He's been killing it. LJ jumps in there with us. Trout Wham jumps in there with us. It's literally what the name of the show says. It's all about the hoops. We're talking NBA. We're talking college basketball. We're giving out player props. We're giving out sides, totals. We're looking at live bets. There is nothing but action all night. So if you're going to be betting tonight, you might as well tune in and hang out with us right there.
I love it, man. It's a great show. All About the Hoops. Ooh. And then, so you got the house locked down for Bub?
We got a house locked down, guys, okay? The house says it sleeps 12, but there's only 5 rooms, so it's just 5 of us. Me, my guy Razor, Nate, Big Show, and Nick Snizzle are going to be there. We got a pool at our house, so I expect to see some of you guys hanging out with us by the pool. We're going to be smoking, having a good time, watching our bets on the patio, Get your tickets if you haven't yet. March is right around the corner. January is over. You got 1 month. Get your tickets. We want to see you down there March 22nd. It's going to be a blast. I can't wait, man.
Oh man, that's dope. That's dope. You got a nice spot like that. How close is it to Southtown?
7 miles, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, that's dope, man. That's dope. I love it. I love it. Well, thank you so much for rolling with us, Daby Cab. Please follow Daby Cab on X and support him at Daby Cab. And check out the big show alongside Dutch Boy Fresh this evening. Daby Cab, thank you for rocking with us, man. Any last words for the Cap supporting the show?
Man, you guys out there, hit the like button, share the video, and let's get this thing jumping. There's nothing else like this out there. You know, I came up watching you, Jimmy. This is where it's at. This is the threshold where we get together, we attack the books, we make money. We have different opinions. It's okay. It doesn't matter. We're here to learn and we're here to get better, man. It doesn't get better than this. Shout out to you guys.
I love it. There he is, Daby Cab. All right, let's bring on our next guest. What a week he had last week covering all sports. He was crushing it. He was excellent here on college basketball on Wednesday and Thursday, and he's here for more glory. He had a giant Sunday with us on our NFL live streams. He is the star of Last Call from Monday to Friday at 6 p.m. Eastern. By the way, we hit our highest viewership on our last show yesterday, Last Call, highest viewership. So we're very excited about the show. We believe enormously in our next guest. So please keep supporting Last Call because we want him to get the love and respect that he deserves because he's putting cash in our pocket. Please welcome from the dirtiest of Chesters. And he went up just under 6 units with us last week. Please welcome in college basketball, just over 6 units. So he's right. He's so close to the black. He'll be in the black when he joins us here tomorrow. Please welcome the dirtiest of Chesters, Rochester, New York City, our guy, Mikey Money. Mikey, how are you?
Jimmy, I'm great. It's a great day to be alive. We got sports going here tonight. I can't believe it's already the end of January. Where the hell did January go? January 31st. But let's get that cash in our pocket, my guy.
It is my mom's 75th birthday today, January 31st, 75 years old. And, you know, she caps with us. She rocks with us. She's in our confidence pool. She was in our cappers contest. And so big happy birthday to you, Mom. And let's roll. And you know what she's doing on her birthday, where she is right now? She is at the Mustard Seed, which is where she goes twice a week. She helps feed the homeless, look after the homeless, she volunteers her time at the Mustard Seed. So she's there on her 75th birthday right now. So shout out to you, Mom. You lead by example.
Shout out to Mama Bag out there. Nice leading by example, as you always say, and clearly the example of it. So that's awesome, man. 75th birthday. She doesn't even take a day off.
Oh, she battles, man. I respect it. All right, let's get to work, Mikey. Let's get that cash. 6:30 p.m. Eastern. Northwestern Wildcats 15-5, 6-3 in the Big Ten at the now number 2 ranked Purdue Boilermakers 19-2, 8-2 in the Big Ten. We're at Mackey Arena, West Lafayette, Indiana. Northwestern's come off a couple nice victories, but we backed them at home. You know, we cashed with them at home. On the road is the fear. And Purdue winning basketball games. Now, the last one wasn't quite as impressive, 68-60 at Rutgers, but they destroyed Michigan at home, beat Iowa on the road by 14, beat Indiana on the road by 19. They haven't lost since Nebraska, so they're on a 5-game winning streak. And Northwestern is on the road where you want them if you're fading them. So both teams, or actually Rutgers, Purdue was on Sunday, Northwestern, Ohio State on Saturday. Let's get into the line history here for this one. Sorry, I got the money line set up. Let me move over to the spread here, and let's go. So we have Purdue Boilermakers right now minus 13.5. Now that's heavily juiced towards Northwestern. So, you know, it is sort of a 13 basically. This opened at 13.5 and went down to 12. This was at 12 last night, and then there was a Purdue buyback. From a total side of things, we are sitting here with move over here, sorry. From a total side of things, we are sitting here with a 141 juice to the over. This opened up at 144.5, so we've had a big move to the under. Brizzy says, get your mom on the Super Bowl stream. Yeah, it's that would be fun. She's gonna be rolling into town here in a few months. But it would be fun to have her on. She can't make the poker tournament, unfortunately, this Friday. But let's get into the cash flow here for this one. We have 83% of tickets and 93% of cash on Purdue. 40% of tickets, 67% cash on the under. Let's hear how Mike Money is handling this one. Take it away, Wildcats Boilermakers.
First and foremost, Jimmy, shout out all you guys in the chat. I see you over there. Appreciate you guys rocking with us. Smash that thumbs up for our guy, Jimmy the Bag. If you have not done so already, you're not doing the service that we need out there. Get out there and hit that thumbs up. We got to grow this thing. And your man is doing it. He's been doing it 11 to 2-ish every single day. Throw that thumbs up out there for him Tuesday through Friday. Let's go. And this is a circle spot. This is the absolute opportunity Purdue is waiting for. These guys here have gotten 2 straight losses to Northwestern. And I said this yesterday. Northwestern travel spot difficulty when you're traveling to Northwestern ranks up there with Nebraska, Wisconsin. They're just difficult positions to be out. And what happened the last 2 games? Purdue was on the road against Northwestern, taking both those L's here. But I think this is a spot where they smack these boys up, real good. They do it right. They're going to go first half in this spot. So this is going to open my card up with a double dipper here. I got the 7.5 and the 13 in this spot. I think when it comes down to it, you mentioned the 5-game win streak, but you start looking at some of the tangibles out there and kind of what doesn't Northwestern do very well. They're just not a strong rebounding team. Now you bring them on the road out there against a team that does rebound, a team that's known to get fouls. They've got the decided advantage with one of the best guys in the Big Ten and Zach Edey out there rebounding like crazy. And, by the way, last but not least, a top 10 team versus an unranked opponent if they're in a favorite in a conference game, 109-62. So the decided advantage for these teams that have this ranking by their name. You bring them at home, you put them in a revenge spot. There's no way I see them not coming out here ready to go. They're not going to look ahead. They know they got to take advantage of Northwestern after 2 straight losses. They want to get it right. This is the second matchup this season as well, which to me puts it in an even more vulnerable position for Northwestern. First half, full game, double dipper.
Double up spot. Wonder if I can get you a 7 here. I can't get you a 7 first half. Can you get one from the American sports books? Because I can only get you a 7.5 at minus 110.
I see 7.5s across the board, which is fine. It's fine. No
First
sweat.
half minus 7.5 at minus 110. Full game minus 13 at minus 110. We are going to roll on here. And we get to another game that we've discussed already. St. John's Red Storm 13-7, 5-4 in the Big East at Xavier Musketeers 10-10, 4-5 in the Big East. And everybody is about to witness the corner of Pimp and CMac Boulevard. Take it away and let everybody know your plan here.
It's the old negative Pimp Boulevard here. We're going to get this one done. And I think this is right on. I heard our guy CMac break it down right online with him and what he's thinking here. Big bounce back opportunity for this Xavier team. And, St. John's been tearing it up. They've been doing a great job with Patino. We had him against Villanova the other day. They hammered them. We expected them to hammer them, that home court advantage, but they're going on the road. And we've seen that on the road. They lost to a Creighton team. Granted, it was a tight game, 66-65. They lost big time to Seton Hall as a 15-point favorite. And I think the books aren't sure how to price this St. John's team here, as evidenced by a fact that we've got a low big spot for the Xavier team out here. Seton Hall, which kind of showed that they were one of the best here when it comes to this Big East play, they're a minus 1-point favorite. Then they go on the road. Then they host a Marquette team, and they're 1.5-point favorites. It just doesn't seem right to be a 3.5-point favorite hosting a Villanova team. And I think this is a mispriced opportunity here. Yeah, Xavier, big loss out there against UConn. He already hit on it, 99-56. Embarrassing situation. But what a better way to get right than to get back home. Back-to-back road losses, but they're still contenders in this thing. And if you look at the teams that they've gassed at home, they're not scared to go out there and punch big teams in the mouth. And we've seen it with some teams like, looking back at it and kind of what they've done with some of these guys out there in Georgetown, in Butler. They're a team that wants to go out there and use that home court advantage to their advantage. And, I think this one comes down to scoring as well. I mentioned Butler, I mentioned Georgetown, Seton Hall, Cincinnati, big home wins. And you got a team that likes to go out and score points here, 75 or more points in 5 of their last 6 games. Going to be a difficult spot when you got comfort with your sight lines. You got that home court. You got the crowd buzzing as well. Difficult spot for St. John's to come in. And Xavier has won 24 of its last 27 games at home when they're playing non-ranked opponents here. Huge, tremendous advantage and a big bounce back spot. I jumped on the money line with this one. I'm going to pay up a little juice for this thing. It's a voluminous day as it is, and it's not that big a vig spot for me. I think when you look at this money line here, sitting around minus 125's one of the best numbers that I saw out there. So minus 125 money line for me, locked and load, Xavier bounce back.
You got it. So you got Xavier on the money line. CMac has it at minus 1.5. And the uncomfort here is Morgan, right? It was Morgan Spooner who is he says he's on St. John's money line, and he's very confident in the spot. Now he is got a round robin where he's tying St. John's with a spot that you are on next, but Morgan did concern me with he's bullish on St. John's. And what do you think of his, he was thinking that by the 40 minutes, by the time 40 minutes is up, that St. John's will have that advantage, which sort of got me thinking about being with you on Xavier first half, because I agree with the bounce back. I think this is a nice spot to buy them, a buy low spot. Did you have any interest in doubling up here? Did you have any interest in the first half, and why did you choose full game?
I wanted the full stretch because I do think Xavier's got the advantage in this thing. As a 3-point team, there's certainly, I think, more, it's pretty tightly matched across the board, but I think they have more advantage when it comes to the free throws. The home court opportunity at the end of the game, we're likely to see that situation where a tight game with a -1 spread or a -1.5 spread, they're suggesting that we're, at least from a Vegas perspective, it is that tight game. And if Xavier's got that bucket lead, we know the fouls are going to come a flying. I want the full opportunity there to amass the turnovers, to get those opportunities for those rebounds as well. They hold decided advantages across pretty much all the categories I look at, from free throws, 3 points, turnovers. The only category that they don't really get the advantage in is blocks, and I'm okay with that. I'm willing to let that go. It's because St. John's has got some bigger dudes out there. That's fine. We got this home court in our favor. I just want it to play out the whole way. The tough part about a round robin, if you do let's say you do a 4-leg round robin, and you put Xavier in that round robin, you just lost 3 of those tickets when Xavier wins this game outright. My guy, Morgan Spooner. Love you, buddy, but that's not the spot I would jump in with this side today.
Locked and loaded, the Musketeers for Mikey Money. Let's move on to the next spot on the board, 7 p.m. Eastern. We have the Richmond Spiders, 15-5, undefeated in the A10. The Fordham Rams, 9-11, 3-4 in the A10. We're in the Bronx for this one. And Stimmy OG has said that he is big on Fordham plus 2.5 and NC Greensboro. We have heard already from Morgan Spooner that one of the teams in his round robin is Richmond money line. Let's take a look at the situation right now. The Spiders in the throes of a real legit winning streak, playing good ball, man. Sitting here now, winners of 10 straight, just coming off beating Dayton, a tough Dayton team, 69-64 at home, beat George Washington by 8 before that, playing good ball. And then we head to Fordham. Fordham has lost 3 of 4, coming off that 68-59 loss at Duquesne. They did win at Rhode Island, 71-68, but their last 2 home performances, they lost by 4. They first lost by 10 to Davidson, then they lost by 4 to Loyola Chicago. Those were the last 2 home spots for them. Both teams played on Saturday, so we have the exact same rest advantage. Let's take a look at the line history here for this one. From I had it all set up, my bad. From a spread perspective here at BetOnline, we're hanging at 2. It is juiced towards Fordham. This opened up at 2. It got up to 3. But right now, and there was a time when it was 1.5, and there are some 1.5s out there. But right now, there has been a 3-cent move to Fordham at this number. From a total side of things, it's opened up at 135.5. It's now up to 138.5, a 3-point move to the over. And then when we get to the cash flow for this spot, we have 40% of the tickets and 62% of the cash on Richmond. And then 17% of tickets and 82% cash on the under. 17 and 82 on the under. Makes very little sense when you think of this going from 135.5 up to 138.5. Take it away for us here, Mikey. Rose Hill Gymnasium in the Bronx. Fordham at home to the Spiders.
Richmond, they won me over the last game there. Plus 3.5. We were on them against Dayton. Big opportunity, big spot out there. And it was the pace that they went out there and ran that game with that really kind of opened my eyes up to what this team is capable of doing. Now, clearly, 10-game winning streak, not to be messed with out there. But aside from that, it's the way that they kind of play the ball out there with this A10 being wide open right now. They know they got to go on the road where they haven't fared very well yet this season. Their opportunity to get better, 3-3 road situation this year. And I think it's time where they tune up for the tournament. They're going to get ready for this conference play. They know they're going to come in with a strong seeding, but they want that top seed out there so that they can advance through the A10 and clinch that bid for the NCAA tournament here. And it's points, right? It's a team where you see Fordham, 9-11 on the season, takes a big loss to Duquesne. I know it was at Duquesne, but 69-59, way below their average, and we're starting to see it dip. There's 74.2 points a game out there. But 3-4 in the conference that Richmond's been out there dominating, 15-5 on the season. Now beating that Dayton team, as I mentioned, 69-64 as a 3.5-point dog. Great opportunity for this team to get right on the road, come out there. Is it a low line? Yeah, it's a low line, but it's because they're on the road. This is probably suggesting that they're at least a 5-point better opponent than they are out there with Fordham. And I think that's generous as well because, again, they know they have to go out there and do their business when it comes down to it. They only allow 64.9 points a game. That's 33rd best defensive team in the nation. The defense has to travel in this spot for these guys to get the job done. And 2 points is one bucket. This game's going to be, I think it's going to be way more than one bucket when it comes down to it at the end of it here. You got a hot team in this A10 wide open trying to clinch it up and lock it down. Tonight's the night that they're going to go out there and show that domination. And they're going to go for 11 straight.
And you are looking for a money line spot here, or are you looking at either?
What's the difference for me here? What do you see for a difference?
I can get that -1.5 for you at regular VIG, but
Yeah, I'll take that. I'll take the -1.5.
Okay, but I wouldn't mind seeing. Oh, actually, wow! And the book that has the -1.5 has Richmond at -125.
We'll take the -125 again. That's fine.
All right.
Okay,
you got it.
There. That makes sense for the 15 cents to be 1.5 points. That's right in line with what I would expect it to be. And we'll take this W. Take that money line. Let's go.
You got it locked in. Richmond -125. Let's move on to the next spot on the board for you here. And we head to the Ramsey Regional Activity Center for this one. A hot spot. If you're a Western Carolina Catamounts fan, 16-5, 5-3 in the Southern. The Chattanooga Mocs coming to town, 14-7, 6-2 in the Southern. And the Stacks play of the day came in, and it is Western Carolina for our guy, Justin McKelvey. Let's take a look here at the situation in front of us. First off, rest-wise, both teams played on Saturday. Chattanooga won their 4th straight game. They beat up on the Citadel at home, 90-62. They've been winning by margin. The only game that hasn't been a double-digit victory for them in this 4-game winning streak was that 81-74 loss at Eastern Tennessee State. Here we have Western Carolina snapping their 3-game losing streak. 102-77 win at home over VMI. This is a 3rd straight road game for them. They did lose to UNC Greensboro 85-82 in overtime in the last Wednesday. So let's take a look here at the line history for this spot for our guy. Oh, let me go back to the point spread here. For Chattanooga, Western Carolina, here we have sitting at 4.5 is the spread. Western Carolina -4.5 point favorites. It has not moved since this line opened up at BetOnline yesterday at 1:46 p.m. And then from a total scenario here for Western Carolina, we have. Oh, sorry, went a little too far there. Here we go. We have it sitting at 146.5. This opened up at 142. It's actually dropped to 145.5. It dropped about 45 minutes ago, but still a 3.5 point move towards the over. Let's get into the cash flow then for this one, if I can find it. 29% of the tickets and 85% of the cash is on Western Carolina. Wow. 89% of tickets and 97% of cash on the over. Take it away for us here. Mikey Money. Chattanooga Mocs, Western Carolina Catamounts.
Gotta love a big, good old-fashioned dogfight between a couple of squads that you're not seeing a lot of movement when it comes to these numbers because there's not a lot of people racing out overnight to get that Chattanooga, Western Carolina spot out there. But I think it's a wrong team favorite alert here. We look at Chattanooga. You just talked about their win streak. The big difference here is the conference play numbers to me. At first glance, you see West Carolina's home. You see they're 16-5, and they should go out there and dominate. But reality is, you mentioned that 3-game losing streak. They did kind of break that thing with that last victory that they claimed out there. But Chattanooga running hard right now. They're running through the conference, and they've got the second best record in the conference ahead of West Carolina. So this is a huge opportunity for Chattanooga, motivated team to come in on the road. When you look at kind of their schedule and the potential look ahead, they've got Samford. That's the number 1 team out there in the conference on deck at home next. Is this a look-ahead spot for him? I mean, it could very well be, but if you're sitting there as this Chattanooga Mocs team, you're saying, we beat one of these next 2 games, we're going to get this opportunity, and I think this is the spot for them to go out there and catch a funky little line here at 4.5. So, it's what I like to do when it comes to this double dip spot. You guys have seen me do it before. We're going to give it another crack as well here. The 4.5 for a team that's been running hot, better in the conference, has shown the propensity to carry those streaks out there. The big thing is the scoring differential. Western Carolina does outscore opponents by almost 10 points a game, but albeit that it's 109th in college basketball, they're 81st when it comes to defense. Clearly going to be a difficult spot when they're sitting there at home. But Chattanooga ain't no bums. 193-point scoring differential, outscoring their opponents by 9.2 teams. These 2 teams just match up way too competitively. And then one of my favorites, you look at the 3-pointers. We've dogged some teams that overshoot the 3, like Villanova last week when we talked about that St. John spot. Guys just taking bad shots from bad marks here. Chattanooga, though, 10th in college basketball, 10.4 3-pointers a game out there. 2.5 more than sitting out here with Western Carolina. And I think that's going to become the difference here. 5.5 was the early number that I saw out there. The fact that it's starting to move down, at least from some of the books that I've looked at, certainly gives me that excitement to see what's going on here. I think 4.5 points. I think we got a team that's going to go out there and splash these boys. Plus 165 money line as well. The old double dip out here should be ugly early and stay that way often.
Plus 166 we can give you. One more cent. So we have Chattanooga plus 5, minus 110, and the plus 166 money line. And Justin McKelvey says that he does have the conviction to go up against Mikey Money, because we've talked about it often here on the show. If you have the conviction to go up against the cap you respect, you're going to have a positive ROI, but you must have the conviction. And he says he's got it for his Stags play today on Western Carolina. Coach Minton in the house. I love Coach's help in the chat. He's great. Says Western Carolina 8-3 against spread at home this season. Says, I do think Chattanooga is the better team, but it's a scary play. Well, if they're the better team and you're getting 4.5 points, then it's a pretty good spot. In fact, we're getting you 5 points for Chattanooga over at MyBookie. Don't forget, we also have the MyBookie link if you're looking for a new account. That is right on our website, MyBookie, Bet Online. MyBookie give you that 50% bonus. Bet Online give you 100% bonus. There you go. Chattanooga plus 5 and the plus 166 money line. 2 more spots on the board for Mikey Money before Dutch Boy Fresh joins us here for NBA. Lipscomb Bisons next up. We're in the A-Sun, 13-9, 4-3 in conference at North Florida Ospreys, 12-10, 5-2 in conference. We're in Jacksonville, Florida for this one. There's Turnsey in the house. Great to see you, Turnsey. So here we go. North Florida Arena in Jacksonville, Florida. From a rest situation here, we have North Florida just got their 5-game winning streak snapped. Eastern Kentucky, 89-76 on the road. They've been playing very nice at home here. And Lipscomb, modest 2-game winning streak snapped at Stetson in a horrific 80-59 loss. And I mean, horrific. They've been playing okay ball, and then it all fell apart at Stetson, 80-59. That was on Saturday. So both teams coming off double-digit losses on Saturday. Lipscomb shot 21.4% from 3 and was out-rebounded 42-17. They were 1.5-point favorites at Stetson. So you have to think this is a very angry Bison squad. Unfortunately, it's probably an angry North Florida Osprey squad as well. Now, they shot fine. It's just Eastern Kentucky is a really good basketball team. They shot 50% from the field, 41.4 in North Florida, and still lost here. They were in the game, but lost to 7.5-point dogs. So let's take a look at the line history here for this one. We will start with the spread. Unfortunately, I got the money line up. Let me fix that right now. This one's also a 7 p.m. start. North Florida here is, God, hard to find is what they are. And I'm not, God, it just drives me fucking batty trying to find these teams here. I get so caught up in whether or not I can find these. Here we go. So it's a Pick'em at Will Hill. Pick'em at Will Hill. But there are spots that have North Florida as a slight favorite. Bet Online has this as a Pick'em as well. This opened up with North Florida as a 1-point favorite, so there's been a 1-point move towards Lipscomb, and that all happened in the first minute it dropped. This opened up at 1:56 p.m. Obviously, some action on Lipscomb to move it to a Pick'em, and then it has not moved since that 1:57 p.m. yesterday. So we have a 1-point move towards the Bison, and then for a total side of things here, we're sitting here at 154.5. This opened up at 157. And we've had a huge drop this morning. This was 157.5 until 7:49 this morning. We've had a big drop towards the under. 101 Benny says Lipscomb not the same as in past years. Coach Minton saying he was wrong. Western Carolina just 3-4 against spread at home. That 8-3 was on the road. So, and Billy Briz saying Lipscomb's got him paid this year at home. And Cody Norton says North Florida has a lit home floor. So let's take a look at the cash flow here for the final 7 p.m. spot on the board. And I'm just going to abandon it if I can't find it here in 8 seconds. And I will look
I got a plus 1.5 at minus 112 on DraftKings. And and so that's the number I locked in for this game. And very much a profile spot, just like what we saw with this last game there. We were talking about 3 games left in the conference for these guys here to go out there and solidify their positions as they try to get moving here. So not a lot of time left kind of at their disposal, at least in the next couple of weeks here to make some moves and get things done. We've got a spot where this team profiles very much like that Chattanooga spot. North Florida in the conference, 5-2. The number 1 team in the conference, East Kentucky, is the one that just splashed them, right? They just got gassed out there. Now you look at the other side of things with the Lipscomb team out there, 4-3 in the conference, 7-1 at home, but only 4-6 on the road here. Again, the home court across this conference is where the decided advantage sits. And these guys know they're motivated and they're in a position to go out there and try to move up the ladder, so to speak, here and get themselves that favorable seating. Again, it's a team that's motivated, lot to play for. We're not going to get that let down. And they've got the benefit of that sweet-ass home court that we're talking about out there. Big thing for, North Florida themselves, 3 points. Again, this is one of those spots. I try to look for that interconnectivity between the games when I'm capping these things out here. And they splashed those threes like crazy. I forgot what Dutch said the other day. It was a fire saying out there. He said something about getting wet from beyond the arc or something about that point and splashing threes. And I think that's what we see with North Florida. I did that terrible. Hopefully he'll drop that for you guys later on here as well. But conference play, home favorites in the conference versus an opponent with a win percentage of 50% or greater, meaning they're getting the better team. They're not looking ahead. They're playing to the potential here. 26-6 against the spread, 30-2 straight up in those spots in a conference like the ASUN. North Florida has won its last 6 games at home as well. Give me this motivated team here. When you look down at it, yeah, I see that the total's dropping. That makes sense. North Florida, 8 straight Wednesdays against conference opponents have gotten less than 153 points. But I think in this case here, North Florida, the defensive edge is going to shine here. They're a first half and a full game team, so it's another double dip opportunity. The home team has won the first half in each of North Florida's last 4 games. I think they start this thing early, and I think they keep it going often. The first half number that I saw out there is a pick'em. There's a plus a half, but we'll just take the money line on this spot here. This pick'em is minus 106 out there on FanDuel. And first half full game, this thing for me. Motivated team at home to get the job done start to finish, wire to wire. gate the wire, whatever you want to call it. Let's go. Give me North Florida to rebound. And they lost that East Kentucky team, but that is the number one team in the conference. We'll forgive them. We'll give them the pass. Lipscomb, on the other hand, losing to a Stetson team. Inexcusable to get down by 20-plus points in that spot there. Motivated team, North Florida, first half full game.
So we can get you the plus 100 on the money line for the full game. You said you found a minus 106 first half. Let me just take a quick look and see if I can beat that before we get into your final spot on the board. And I cannot. Minus 110 is the best I can get you, but you got a minus 106, so we'll go with yours. First half, minus 106 for North Florida. Full game, plus 100. Let me get this right, though. On your double-up spot, Mikey, on Chattanooga, that was money line and full game. Full game, money line, full game spread. That was the first half. Full game?
That was
okay, cool.
Yeah, that was the full game money line, full game spread. Yeah, Cody Norton says FanDuel has the plus 1.5 at minus 115, so I'll take the 1.5.
Okay, so there you go. Full game, plus 1.5. Minus 110. Thank you, Cody, for that. Let's move on to the final spot on Mikey's board. 10:30 p.m. Eastern. We have the Boise State Broncos, 14-6, 5-2 in the Mountain West. At the now number 19th ranked New Mexico Lobos, 18-3, 6-2 in the Mountain West. We're at the pit in Albuquerque, New Mexico for this one. Boise State had their modest 2-game winning streak snapped in a 90-84 overtime loss on Saturday to Utah State. Angry group, I can imagine. Boise State were just 2.5-point favorites, but did not shoot the ball well. Either did Utah State either. No real excuse for the loss. It was a very, very tight game. Went to overtime, and they lose 90-84 to the Aggies. On the other side of things, the Lobo is playing very good basketball. Winning games. Now, they did lose at UNLV, but they've won 5 straight since then. Those wins, at home over San Diego State and Utah State. They went to Air Force, beat them by 19, went to San Jose State, beat them by 20, and then destroyed Nevada 89-55 at home on Sunday. So are they fat and happy after that giant victory? Boise State clearly going to be an angry group here, and that's the situation. New Mexico played on Sunday, Boise State on Saturday. Let's get into the line history here. Sorry, let me go back to the spread here for this one. Again, we're moving into NBA after this breakdown, but we will review everybody's college action. We had Conor Mac, Daby Cab, and Mikey Money rocking with us. Again, tomorrow we'll have Daby Cab, Mikey Money, and Dave Rogers rocking with us. This is a 10.5-point favorite spot here. Pinnacle's moved it to 11. MyBookie's moved it to 11. BetOnline's also moved it to 11. The 10.5s are gone, actually. This opened up at 10. This went down to 9 last night, but since then it's just been a move towards New Mexico. They got up to 11.5 at 7 in the morning, but they're sitting at 11 right now. So we have a 1-point move towards them. From a total side of things, we are sitting here at 151. This opened up at 153, so we have a 2-point move to the under. And then when we get to the cash flow for this spot, it is our down to the very bottom for this. We have 31% of the tickets and 65% of the cash on Boise State, but the line's not moving towards them. And then from a total side of things, we are sitting here with 86% of tickets and 96% of cash on the under. Take it away for us here. Mikey, your final spot on the board. We head to the pit in Albuquerque for this one.
I love to see kind of some of the early proclamations around some of these teams in conference come to fruition here. And, Richard Pitino doing a great job with New Mexico. I've said it before, probably the second hardest court to play on when it comes to the home court advantage out there. New Mexico just behind Kansas. And we saw that didn't scare Cincinnati with Kansas. And I don't think Boise State's going to be scared when it comes to this side either here. Weird situation with this line functionality. They're a 2.5-point favorite against a then 18-2 Utah State team. Now they're an 11-point dog. I understand it. I see what's going on out there. The margin of victory, for this New Mexico team, they've won every game. You mentioned it by double digits. The average margin, 20.8 points out there. But due for a letdown, sure. I certainly could see that being the case. They've also got a situation where they're kind of getting everybody's back and healthy on the court. And I think it's tough to find out there who's going to be the guy that's on the ball versus who wants to play off the ball for this New Mexico team. And I think this is a challenging spot for them. 13 games for Boise State against teams inside the top 100. Not a lot of scoring. This is not going to be where I think they go out there and put up 100 points on either side of this thing. For them to be in this game, they're going to have to play defense. Again, they're under their team total average in points consistently, game in and game out on the season here. But, you look at the Broncos and kind of what they did. They're starting out 3-3 through their first 6 games, have not lost consecutive games since then out there. Now, I don't think they're going to go out there and win this game outright, but just too many points. I got it. I see what New Mexico's doing. I like watching the way they hoop out there, but Boise State 6-2 in their last 8 wins over Utah Valley, San Jose State, Colorado State, who, by the way, won yesterday confidently and comfortably start to finish. They did take down a Nevada team. They took down a San Diego State team and a Fresno State team. So I think it's a comfortable spot here to get these points. The fact that it continues to move, just a better sign in this case. Normally I tend to fade away from those types of things, as you guys well know. But a team that shoots as effectively and efficiently as a team in Nevada, 58.6% from field goal, 50% from the 3, is one of those things where they can certainly go cold. And if they go cold, it's going to be an opportunity for Boise State to get this job done outright. A lower scoring battle here keeps them in play, and 11 points is just too many points. Mike says Boise State plus the lumber. I'm not sure if that means he's going money line or not, but yeah, New Mexico from our guy, Coach Minton, second generation of Patino Mashburn combo. I could see them making a deep run. I think absolutely that's the case. New Mexico is going to be one of those Elite 8 teams. If not, they make themselves a final push out there because they do well and they score effectively from everywhere on the court, home or road. But in this case here, it's just a case where there is too many points for a Boise State team that likes to rally off a loss, and they are going to come here motivated, ready to play.
Boise State plus 11 at minus 110 for Mikey Money. Mikey, let's review all your action here in NCAA basketball. You're coming off a great week last week here on the show. He'll be back in action with us again tomorrow. We got Purdue first half minus 7.5, minus 110, full game minus 13, minus 110. Xavier money line minus 125, Richmond money line minus 125, Chattanooga plus 5 and the plus 166. North Florida first half and full game. First half minus 106, full game plus 1.5 at minus 115. And then we have Boise plus 11 at minus 110 for Mikey Money. North Ender says mid-major Mike. Mid-major Mikey, what's going on Last Call this evening at 6 p.m. Eastern?
We are rolling again tonight here. Going to be a great show. Obviously, I think this is the last day before All-Star break for the NHL. We did bang down that San Jose Sharks plus 200 spot last night. We're going to go back there and lace them skates up to get it done. You know that. We got a big NBA card. We'll find a couple more college basketball spots as well. Lots of action here in college basketball. That's where I want to be this time of year. We're starting to get them analytics behind us, starting to see who they really are and who's got that motivation. North Ender, you're right. Damn right, mid-majors. That's where the cash is. That's where we have the advantage. Book's got to line everything out there, and they're focusing on making sure they get that public money with Kentucky right. We're going to go out there. We're going to give them the old dusted-up pimp slap right in the face and cash that mid-major money. Jimmy, let's go. 6 p.m. Eastern, Monday to Friday. Last call, my guy. Thanks for having me on. Shout out to everybody up there in the chat, and I'll see you guys later on today. Pub Sports Radio. Good luck with the horse races.
We love it. There he is, Mikey Money. Speaking of the horses, 28 minutes and 30 seconds left in the race, and we will keep a close eye on it. I know we accidentally robbed Justin McKelvey of his glory, but he did get paid, and that's all that's important. $50 up for grabs here. Berkey with a very slight lead over Nut Flush Allen, Billy Briz, Subhuman Gaucho. That is the situation now. Philly Eagle Flyer making a big move. There's LJ from H-Town and Billy Briz both moving forwardly here with Philly Eagle Flyer. Donut Silks. Now, you don't want your horse to have the lead with 28 minutes left in the race. You want your horse to have the lead with 20 seconds left in the race. There's Director 97. We know what he's done in this thing. Just cashing. And Preston Ekdahl. Remember, if Slaughter, Preston, or myself win, that $50 goes right back in. So it'd be $100 in our next race. Right now, there is our horses. All right, it's time to get into the NBA. Your guest has been excellent and extremely consistent here on our show. I have fallen apart in NBA over the last 2.5 weeks, and it's extremely frustrating. And I hope my low water mark of the season is right here, right now. It was a horrific Friday for me, and I'm now in the red. And it sucks. Fucking sucks. Dutch Boy Fresh Hour expert this afternoon and every Wednesday here on Betting with the Bag. 34-26, 56.7%, plus 5.34 units, ROI plus 8.90%, average line minus 110. Please welcome from Las Vegas, Nevada, the freshest capper in this wild industry that we are all a part of. Please welcome Mr. Dutch Boy Fresh. Dutchy, what's good, man? How are you?
Jimmy the motherfucking bag. Salute to you and all the real ones holding us down in Wi-Fi land. Yo, the NBA is a hell of a drug. And you looking at the plug. Yeah, man. Good to be back with you, Jim. How you doing, my man?
I'm doing great. I love these Wednesdays. You rock I think it's the best thing that for my capping was the two-a-days, the two show-a-days that I used to do in Costa Rica. You have your morning show. You then you don't need to feel like you force, some of the questionable stuff. You can revisit it, and that's what you get to do here because Dutch rocks this whole NBA card, and then the live stream this evening all about the hoops alongside our guy Dabra Cadabra every Wednesday night right here on Pub Sports Radio. Please support the show, and let's get to work. We have a huge NBA card for us here this evening. Let's roll. And let's let our guy Viper MB get us started here. Viper gave us Joker over 8.5 assists to minus 135. Van Vliet over 14.5 points, and Van Vliet over 2.5 threes, as well as the Pelicans money line. That's from Viper MB to get us started. Let's follow suit and get rolling here on this giant NBA card, and I'm excited to break it down with you. I love these Wednesdays. I did fall apart on Friday. I've been bad. There's no other way to put it. I've just been bad, and that's, I'm basically trying to tell myself that this is the first game of the year. I'm just 0-0, and to get back to where I was rolling here, I got to stay away from totals. They've been destroying me. So let's get to work. We start at 7 p.m. Eastern. The Chicago Bulls, 22-25, 8-15 on the road at the Charlotte Hornets, 10-35, 5-17 at home. We're at the Spectrum Center in Charlotte, North Carolina. Chicago 3-2 over their past 5. Playing at the 24th fastest pace in the league, 97.8 possessions a game, and shooting the ball very well from 2, not so well from 3, 50.1% over these 5 games from the field, 34.5% from 3. Charlotte 1-4 over their past 5, 98.30 possessions a game, slightly faster than the Bulls, but bottom 10 of the league. And they are shooting 47.8% from the field and 36.9% from 3. That's a lot better than they had been shooting. Let's get into the line history. We're going to go back to Pinnacle openers and closing. We have Charlotte plus 5 and minus 103. They opened up at plus 3.5. When it opened up at plus 3.5, it was 6:31 this morning. Within 2 minutes, this was a 4. And it wasn't a 4 that was juiced either side. It was 4 to pick them. So now we have moved to 5. It's just been a constant move towards the Bulls at this point. There has been no buyback. Let's get into the total here for our first game on the board. We're sitting at 215.5, minus 110 to the under. This opened at 218, so we have a 3-point move towards the under. Right? Sorry, I was looking at a comment here. Did I say that right? Yes. Sorry, moved to 2.5 points towards the under here. And Brizzy says, fuck the Bulls for the bullshit that they did last night. Saturated says, Kobe, awful shooting last night. Look for him to bounce back. Give me over 2.5. 3-pointers made. And why wouldn't we want Kobe White in North Carolina?
Right.
Because that's where he's from. He seems to step up in these spots. In fact, I thought about betting a player prop, which I do so rarely, but I wanted to hear what Dutch thought about it. Let's take a look at the cash flow then for this one. Just 23% of the tickets on the Hornets, but 47% of the cash. The books don't seem to care. They have moved it towards the Bulls. And then 35% of tickets and 56% cash on the under, and the line is moved in that direction. Bulls are on the second half of back-to-back after losing their third and 4 games last night, 118-107 at home versus the Raptors. The Raptors were playing pitiful basketball before this. So it was quite a shock to see the Raptors manhandle the Bulls and destroy them in the second half. Levine out, Terry out, and Patrick Williams out. We've seen what happens when they don't have Patrick Williams doing the dirty work, playing hard at both ends. They fall apart here.
Right.
For the Hornets, LaMelo, a game time decision. So is Bridges, Hayward, Lowry, and Williams out. Of course, Lowry not going to put on the uniform. I thought he was going to show some class, but nope. Bulls are on the second half of back-to-back, as I said. They were outscored 65-44 in the second half. Patrick Williams out for at least 2 more weeks with the foot injury. Hornets coming off their 4-star loss, 113-92 at home to the Knicks on Monday. LaMelo missed the past 2 games with ankle soreness. Cody Martin has had to fill in. I mean, this team is just an absolute mess. If you're asking Cody Martin to do, and he's been okay, 14 points, 8 assists on Monday, but this is not, really what you want. PJ Washington put up 43 on Saturday against Utah. Brandon Miller put up 29 on Monday. You have some guys fighting the good fight. Justin McKelvey took the Bulls minus 2.5 last night. That was a nice spot to do that at. Take it away for us here, Dutch. We are all ears. If you could touch on your plan, but also touch on the possibility of Kobe White props. Take it away, my man.
Yeah, I mean, you take Kobe White back to Tobacco Road. I can't be mad at that. I look at, Brunson. I'm not going to put Kobe White on Brunson's level by any means, but these Charlotte Hornets, they don't want to stop anybody, man. It's like YMCA, rec basketball out there type of shit. Get yours, you can get, let me get mine. Brunson had 32. Couple nights before that, Colin Sexton had 24. So attacking guards are going to get theirs against a suspect Charlotte Hornets. Not only basketball team, but definitely a team that I question, do they even really give the effort on a defensive end? I mean, they're down 20 against the New York Knickerbockers, and you got LaMelo fucking Ball and these cats on the bench just laughing like it's a good old time. Like I just don't get it. It's very frustrating. I'm glad MJ don't have to sit there. You can see why the fuck he got out of there. But this game, I like that 2.5 that our boy Justin got. I like that, and I thought I would be on the Bulls here. But the Bulls, man, they're 3-0 ATS and straight up this year, Jim, against the Hornets already. So they've already beat them 3 motherfucking times. Average margin of win, 10 points per game in those 3. They are 5-7 straight up last 7 as a favorite as well, and 6-1 straight up last 7 in Charlotte. So I'm looking at the Bulls like, they should probably handle business, but it's tough to beat the same damn thing 4 times. Now you're in a back-to-back situation where DeRozan played 41 minutes last night. The Hornets though, you gotta really hold your breath to get a hard look in the mirror to go to the fucking window with the Hornets. 2-11 ATS, last 13 overall, 1-10 straight up, last 11 at the crib, Jim, and 3-17 straight up, last 20. Not a good basketball team, but I do feel at this time like the numbers getting up there a little bit. I think the Hornets might have some value. Another number that does scare me, though, why I do like the 2.5 is pretty appealing if you got it. The Bulls are 9-2-1 ATS versus teams with winning percentage of 40% or below. So they handle business against the bummy motherfucking teams, which we do know the Charlotte Hornets are. I just don't know if this is the best spot for Chicago being in a back-to-back. Yes, it is off a loss, but they do have to travel. And they're playing a team that they've already beat 3 motherfucking times. So a couple red flags for me to keep me off the Chicago Bulls. And now that the number keeps creeping up, I see a little bit of value on the Charlotte Hornets. But a pass for me, Jim. I'll wish our friend Justin luck with that 2.5.
God, Kobe White.
And props, I like
bad.
the prop. But I don't give a fuck like how good the prop looks. It's like you on the totals, bro. If I want to remain a profitable capper and not be fucking tilted, I have to stay away from the props. I don't give a fuck how many I hit when I write them down and don't bet them. What the fuck ever. I'm just not betting props. We could talk about them. We could break them down, but I got to stay away from the props. It's discipline. It's a discipline thing. It's with you with the totals. I have to be disciplined.
You've watched me for 2 years. I bet 2 props in 2 years.
Right. And same with the props with you. Like I need to follow your rule. And no matter how good it looks, I'm not fucking betting the props. Because I'll have a side and then motherfuckers will blow them out. And then you know what it is. So I'm for the props, man. If you want to do like a same game parlay prop, a little juicy sesh prop like we're doing on Medicaid Monday, something like that, I'm cool with it. But I'm not putting full units on these props, man. Fuck it.
And great stuff from Dan Kelly. Jared Allen was not at shoot around this morning.
Yeah, he missed
illness, questionable, very, very important. It's funny because the setting that rule was extremely important for me across the board, cutting all player props. But The Kobe White situation here, I just think that without a point guard, so LaMelo's doubtful now. I mean, he's going to bust Cody Martin's ass. I mean, he's going to be able to get what he wants. He's going to control the game. But and this is an angry Bull squad, and he's in his hometown. Like, this is, I mean, it is juiced to the under right now, the under 34.5 PRA. I mean, look how bad he was last night. I mean, this was in his 2 straight games he's been bad, but he had 2 boards, 6 assists.
He is streaky. He is quite streaky. I followed this guy ever since Tar Heel land, but so I'm not saying he won't have a good game, but he's definitely streaky. When he's in a funk, he's in a little bit of a funk. Well, he's been playing good basketball.
Yeah, and it's their 3rd game in 4 nights, so I don't know if I want to break the rule for this one, but I certainly thought about it here, and we'll continue to.
You like Chicago?
Oh, say what, my man?
You like Chicago?
I like Chicago to bounce back, but the 2.5 to 5. Look, I can't. I just can't do it. But yeah, I like Chicago to bounce back because I like Kobe White to control the game. Saturated says, in his opinion, take 3 points made or rebounds and assists. So, Dan Kelly says he's one from Bullet says books. He says you can still find Allen props all over the place, but there ain't no Mobley props posted anywhere. Okay, well, let's roll. Let's have Dan Kelly roll us into this next spot here. 7 p.m. Eastern, the Detroit Pistons 6-40, 2-19 on the road to the Cleveland Cavaliers, 28-16, 16-8 at home, Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse in Cleveland, Ohio. There's going to be some fun playoffs games here at Rocket Mortgage, man. This Cleveland team is the real deal, and we don't even know how good they are. And it's impossible to know at this point because we haven't seen them all healthy. It doesn't look like we're going to get a chance to tonight. Let's get into the line history to get this started. We'll start with the total. This is at 231. It opened up at 230. This dropped down to 229 before it climbed up to 231.5. Let's get into the point spread here for this spot. Give me a second. Sorry, I'll have this set up better for the rest of the remaining games. But here we go. From a point spread scenario, we have Cleveland minus 12.5. This opened up at 13, dropped to 12.5, got up to 13, back at 12.5. So we've had really no movement. When we get to the cash flow for this one, we have, sorry about this. 38% of the tickets, 38% of cash on the Pistons at 12.5. From a total scenario, 50% of the tickets and 98% of cash on the under. 98% of cash on the under. Wow. Dan Kelly saying Garland will play tonight. So from the Cavaliers side of things, they come off their second straight win, 118-108 at home over the Clippers on Monday night. They're 10-1 since January 3rd. And Mobley returned after missing 6 weeks with the left knee surgery. 10 points, 9 boards in that win. Played 21 minutes, and he looked good. Donovan Mitchell, 28-12. And this is a team that's won 15 of their last 19 games, and Jared Allen with his 15th straight double-double, 20-17, but is not at shoot-around. Darius Garland has been out since December 15th with a fractured jaw, and Dan Kelly saying that he will be back this evening. So let's talk about Cleveland. 4-1 over their past 5, 99.4 possessions a game over that stretch. Shooting the ball nice, 49.3 from the field and 39 from 3. Detroit shooting the ball better than they have all year. And they're playing at the 5th fastest pace over the last 5 games. Actually have 2 wins over that stretch. 47% from the field and 40.5% from 3. They come in off their second win in 3 games, 120-104 at home versus Thunder on Sunday night. And they showed real life here. Jalen Duren, 22, and then career-high 21 boards. He's averaging 15.4 points and 12.6 boards over his last 17 games. Jaden Ivey, sighting. He went for 19. Bogdan Bogdanovic went for 17. And Cade Cunningham missed Monday's game with the left knee injury management. He's been out 9 of the past 10 games and expect him to be shut down very soon is the expectation from all of us. It's that he's going to be shut down. We have him still a game-time decision and Stewart out. Garland listed as a game-time decision, but we've heard that he is going to play, and Jared Allen now sick. Game time decision doesn't show up at shoot around. Take it away for us here, Dutchy, Pistons, Cavs.
Yeah, man. Shout out to our guy, Billy Briz in the building. Say he likes the Kobe White over the 2.5 threes. A little juicy, but giving you some stats to back it up. Shout out to him too, hitting the Austin Reeves, juiced it up, ladder plus 600, I believe, gave it out yesterday right here on Post Sports Radio. Shout out to Billy the motherfucking kid. You can see him tonight on All About the Hoops. Check it out. This one right here, Jim. Man, for the way you broke this shit down is you want to be on the Pistons. That's the way I hear you breaking this shit down. But I don't know, man. The Cavs definitely are not a team you want to fade. I faded them one night, the first game after the firing of the Milwaukee Bucks coach. They handle business. Then they turn around and Cavs go right back to doing what they do and beat Milwaukee second time around. Shout out to everyone who backed the Cavaliers that game, getting 5.5, won outright. You said a lot about the Cavs, man. I mean, this team, to me, I talked about it all year. This is, to me, in the Eastern Conference, they're like the bet-on team in the NBA. Now, the Knicks is the regular season. Now, the Knicks could become that team as well with the acquisitions they've made and what we've seen with them. But the Cavaliers, man, they got a team over there. First of all, they play for the coach. They got Donovan Mitchell, who we know, as long as he doesn't just become a complete black hole, he's a guy you want on your team because he's pretty fucking talented. Now the 3-point, it all comes down to the 3-pointers with Cavaliers, man. I touched on it last week here. They're averaging 43 attempts, number one in the league, making 18 over the last 17, 18 basketball games per game, leading the league with that statistic. So what they do is they're like watching a college basketball team damn near, like the old Dukies or some shit. They just go down and chuck the threes. They got Niang, they got Strus, they got this boy Sam Merrill off the bench. They shoot an awful lot of threes led by Donovan Mitchell. Now Garland back in here should be maybe a little bit more of a post game, but I think bringing them back in, Jim, is going to maybe going to slow this team down a little bit, just a little, you know. Also, big win, huge win against the Clippers here the other day. Maybe a little bit of a letdown spot, but the Cavs have been big brother, little brother type shit against the Detroit Pistons, Jim. Cavs 7 straight wins versus the Pistons. They are 2-0 this year. A 9-point win and an 8-point win versus the Detroit Pistons already this year, and they have covered 8 of the last 10. Now I'm really big on the Cavaliers first half. They're one of the more profitable teams first half this season. Numbers a little too high for me though, Jim. I actually see a little bit of value in the Pistons here. Now they have won 10 of the last 11 overall, the Cavaliers, and 7-0 straight up last 7 at the crib. So this team is playing some of the better basketball in the NBA right now. But the Pistons, man, they fucked around and covered 7 out of the last 8 basketball games, Jim. Led by, they got the guy Kate Cunningham back. Just not a team I like, but I do think it's too many points here. They're 1-18 straight up last 19 on the road. I just can't bet the Detroit Pistons here. But I do believe as a double-digit dog, you could see a little bit of a letdown spot. The Cavaliers do travel to Memphis tomorrow. And off a huge win against the LA Clippers, man, I just don't want to lay the points here.
Everything you said makes perfect sense. I mean, the Pistons actually probably feel okay about themselves. I would never want to back the Pistons off, that kind of victory like they had on Sunday night, but they probably don't hate walking into an arena for the first time in a while. And then you have Garland coming back, trying to figure things out. First half of a back-to-back. I mean, God damn it. I hate backing the Pistons. It's been a negative ROI situation, obviously. But good God. And look at that. Ramon Scott, Seahawks named Mike McDonald as head coach. Wow. The Pistons 12.5 sounds appealing to me. 7 minutes, 54 seconds left of the horse race. Thank you for showing that to us. We will make sure that we are back with at least a minute left in the race here. Yeah, the Pistons plus 12.5 is appealing to me. I hate saying it.
And they will miss Jared Allen, obviously, but especially against the bangers, like Detroit. So outside of Jared Allen, Mobley's big. Obviously he's going to be back, but he's a little light. So they're going to be. They definitely need Jared Allen out there. If I'm laying 12.5 points, I'll just say that.
Okay, I find it appealing right now, but we'll see if this line changes here quickly. Just 7 minutes left in the horse race. Let's move on to the next spot on the board. 7 p.m. Eastern. Los Angeles Clippers 30-15, 11-11 on the road at the Washington Wizards. 9-37, 3-18 at home. We're at Capital One Arena in Washington, D.C. Clippers coming off their loss had their 5-game winning streak snapped. So they're 4-1 over the past 5, playing at the 12th fastest pace, 99.7 possessions a game, shooting the ball very well, 50.2% from the field, 35.8% from 3. Then we'll move on to the Wizards, 2-3 over their past 5. 102 possessions a game. They played fast all year. This is a little slower than they had played. They can't shoot from 3 still, 32.1% over the last 5 games. They're a little better from the field, 47.5. A little better of late from the field. We have another double-digit favorite. There are 4 here on the board this evening, and this is number 2. Washington right now plus 11.5 at minus 111 at home. They open up at 12. It's moved a half point in their direction. And then you have, are the Clippers angry off that? I mean, I don't know if they are. They're just still playing great basketball, and there's no way getting around it. This total's at 236.5. It opened up at 238.5. It dropped to 236.5. This opened up at 236.5. Right? Is that right? Sorry. No, opened up at 238.5, dropped to 236.5, then came back up to 238.5 before finding its way back to 236.5. So there has been a 2-point move towards the under. Let's take a look at the cash flow for this one. 87% of the tickets and 89% of the cash on the Clippers. Just expecting a bounce back in front of Verizon. It's still Verizon? No, it's Capital One now. Arena. That I'm going to take a look and see how many people have been going to these games. You have 44% of tickets and 55% cash on the over. I hate talking about how these double-digit dogs are appealing to me. They are. By the way, Dan Kelln says no Tristan Thompson, of course, with the suspension for performance enhancers. Says if Allen doesn't make it, Damian Jones is going to get a lot of minutes. So here we go. We have Paul George, a game time decision, and Zubac out. So it's a Mason Plumlee show. And for Washington Livers and Shamet out. So Clippers had their 5-game winning streak snapped in a 118-108 loss to the Cavs on Monday night. They had 22 of 26 coming in. Kawhi went for 30 and 13 and 25 from the floor. He's playing so well. The rest of the team shot poorly. Paul George, 3 for 11. He scored 13 points, dealing with a groin injury. 0 for 5 from 3. Wizards coming off their second straight win, 118-113 at the Spurs on Monday. Back-to-back wins for the first time all season. Unbelievable. Kuzma went for 30, and that was against Detroit. He went for 30. And then he went for 18 and 11 against San Antonio. They shot 53.5% from the floor. They outboarded. I mean, they were just playing good ball, outboarded the Spurs. Gaff went for his second straight double-double. Tyus Jones had 9 assists. They're 2-1 under Brian Keefe. That's great because that first game with Brian Keefe, they did squat-ass fucking nothing when I bet on them. But as soon as that game's over with, they went 2 straight. How do you psychologically see the Clippers and the Pistons? Do you want them coming off victories, or do they feel okay about themselves? Is it not the worst thing in the world when you talk about the worst teams in the league actually coming in off a win so they don't hate themselves? I don't have the answer to that. Let's hear what Dutch has to say. We do have 3.5 minutes, so in about a minute and a half or so, we're going to go to that horse race. But why don't you start us off here, Dutch? Clippers, Wizards.
Yeah, man. Obviously you'd think this would be a buy-in spot for the Clippers off of a loss to the Cavaliers. I mean, the Clippers really just haven't lost that many basketball games, really, period, since they made that trade after losing maybe 5 or 6 to start that shit. The Clippers have won 5 out of the last 6. Most recently, obviously, this loss to the Cavs. They have covered 3 straight and 3 straight wins last 3 meetings versus these boys. They have a margin to win 7 points per game, though, so it falls a little under, and have covered 7 out of the last 8 meetings versus the Washington Wizards. Now, the Wizards, man, they could put the ball they got guys that you do not want to trust, but they got guys that can get hot. Jordan Poole, with Poole and Kuzma, and they got some shooters on that team as well. Watching them, they do make some runs offensively that is impressive, but for the entire 48 minutes, they get their ass ran over from the defensive perspective. They allow 124 points per game, which is like 30th in the fucking league. They're just not a good defensive basketball team. If I bet this game, it would probably be the Clippers team total over. The Detroit Pistons as a dog is more appealing to me in the previous game than this one. I just don't know. Like, I mean, you got the Clippers off a loss, playing good basketball. You see in the chat the Russell Westbrook factor. People are saying, the revenge game. I don't know so much of that. He wasn't in Washington too long. He actually had a nice little stint there. But the Wizards got to be feeling themselves a little bit 2-0. However, this is a bummy ass team, man. They've lost 12 out of last 15, 8 straight at the crib, 1-4 last 5 against the number at the house, and overall 7-14 straight up again, 7-14 against the number at the house this year, Jim. So I would look for the Clippers to come out and handle business. This number is probably right around it. Would I be surprised if the Clippers win by 8? No, but I mean, I could see the Wizards maybe a backdoor cover here. Very, very coin flippy game to me when it comes to the spread, but I would lean the Clippers simply due to the fact that they're coming off a loss where they got punked in that second half in Cleveland.
Yeah, and even if Paul George doesn't play, I mean, that's where
Norman Powell gets more minutes, and he's playing really good ball right now.
Or Terrence Mann. Yeah, you know what? I'm comfortable to stay off of it. Let's get to our horse race. We are under a minute left in our horse race. 51 seconds left, and there's Dutch Boy Fresh with a nose out in very close. They're in a line of horses here. Berkey trying to make hay on the outside. There's Daby Cab. Daby Cab's horse looks like going to take another dump. The bane of Daby Cab's existence is his horse. But there's Ricky Levine. Ricky Levine making a big move. Big move with Vincent Ramirez. Both of them making moves here. 25 seconds left. And Berkey trying to get up on the inside here. Billy Friedrich making a move as well. We're heading into the last 17 seconds. And Dutch Boy Fresh pushing hard here, trying to find the wire. There's 11 seconds left. Will Dutch Boy Fresh take it home? Here, 6, 5, 4. Oh God, no! Saturated gets the cash.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck.
Oh man!
Oh,
hey, good shit. That was pretty good. Good shit there, Saturated.
Jesus, just ripping Dutch is beating hard out of his chest. Wow, looked like it was a done deal until Saturated says, "I want that money." Saturated, and then Coin coming second. Coin has already won a race, so Coin right there in second. Then Randall Sheffield in third, Kongs Clips in fourth, Vincent Ramirez. Look at Dutch Boy Fresh fades to 11th in the last 6 seconds of that race.
Yeah, that was pretty. I made my push a little too quick, huh?
Just a tiny bit too early. Wow, what a race! Congratulations, Saturated. $50 or richer. Just email pubsportsradio@gmail.com. Wow.
Shout out to my guy.
Wow, Dutch, just $50 just taken right out of your hands.
Yeah, that was my fucking tournament buy-in right there. God damn it. I was like, yeah, man.
It was.
I'll be able to play this Friday too. So I'm about to.
Can you play on Friday?
Yeah, I'm gonna play Friday.
Oh, dope. That means so we can put together a nice group for the last longest, $50 last longest if you want.
Yeah, I'm down.
Okay.
I'll be all ears and eyes on focusing on taking you guys' motherfucking money Friday night. No, you know what I mean? No friendly shit. But yeah, man. Last longer, most definitely. And get your asses in that tournament. Bet online, man. It's a good time. Just vibe out with the fellas. You'll be sitting at the table, next to motherfucking Jimmy and the crew. It's a good time. And I believe Jose goes live too. So, you can get on screen and do your goddamn thing if you like as well.
Yeah, I love it. No, it's great. Now, you are a very skilled poker player, so but it'll set us up nice for our poker tournament live at Pubapalooza. Crystal Craig says, good God, I didn't even see my horse. Maybe it didn't even get out of the gate. Crystal Craig, you're going to get that cash. Craig, I think your horse did not make an appearance in this last one, sadly. Nutflush Allen also not pleased with his horse, but they're Saturated. Nice win, Saturated. Good job, man. Good job. Okay, let's roll on. Saturated, $50 richer. We'll do another one on Friday. Another one on Friday. And there's a lot of money to be made here in our poker tournament because we have the $25 add-on now after an hour.
Yeah, I've seen the new rules. I like it. Or the new structure. I like it a lot. So I'm looking forward to it.
We just wanted more cash in right now.
Yeah.
You know what?
The more heads, the better. So don't be
Yeah.
shy. It takes fucking a couple minutes. It's not that difficult. If I could sign up for this shit, anyone can. I think I only had to ask someone one time for help. But yeah, it's pretty fucking easy, man. It's pretty fucking easy. And Bet Online offers an awful lot. I was actually playing live games and shit once I signed up for that shit. So it's pretty dope.
Yeah, it works. It works here. Let's go over and just take a quick look at the tournament, see how many signups we have right now. Of course, it's going to be a slow build. We have a meeting today too. I want to figure out a way to make it a little more exciting for people to sign up. We had 48 last, and we want last tourney, and we want more here. Come on, here we go. Let's just see where we stand now for the tournament. The tournament is Friday. We are about 55 hours away from our February 2nd tournament. I'm going to go over there right now and see how many do we have locked in here. 8 p.m. start. Jose will host the live stream, and there's 2 of us. You got to start somewhere. We got 48 last tourney. We need to break 50. I was very pleased with the amount of people we had, but it's got to keep growing or we'll just shut it down. And who is in? Jimmy the Bag and Say Hey Jose. Jimmy the Bag and Say Hey Jose are the 2. So please sign up. Please.
Yeah, I'll be in that bitch. I'll be in that bitch, most definitely. But yeah, let's get 50 in there. Let's get at least 50 minimum. Yeah. Friday night, you got vibe out with the crew. Yeah, I'll be sure to push that tonight too or throughout the week. I want a lot of people in there.
It's fun. Yeah, get some cash up for grabs. And also, if you see that I'm ahead in the confidence pool, it's not true. Jose has a 9-piece left. I'm 4 ahead of him, which means we are tied. Jose is right there in the cash for the confidence pool. It's all going to go down to the final spot on the board. But let's roll back into NBA. 7:30 p.m. Eastern. Next up, Sacramento Kings 27-18, 13-10 on the road. The Miami Heat 24-23, 12-11 at home. Robert Franklin says he'll be there. I love it, Robert. Thank you. There's my guy AOD in the house, and our guy WT coming to us from Costa Rica says your basketball crew are solid cappers. They are, and we have the live stream all basketball tonight. But let's get some pre-flop action here. Sacramento 4-1 over the past 5. Starting to play good basketball finally. We've been waiting all year for it. 99.5 possessions a game, 15th in the league over that span. Shooting the ball nice, 51% from the field, 37.2% from 3. The Heat are playing poorly. It's a year anniversary here for Joe T. That's try, but I get it, Joe T. I get it. Yes, Nasty Nate. The race just finished. Saturated. Dutch Boy Fresh had it. And then Saturated ripped it out of his hands right at the wire. The Heat are losing basketball games. If you told me that the Heat would lose 7 straight, I'd say immediately, oh my God, do the Magic have the lead in the division for us? Somehow they don't. Kings coming off their 4th straight win. Heat coming off their 7th straight loss, 118-105 at home versus Suns on Monday. Over the last 5 games, they're the 3rd slowest team pace-wise in the league, 95.2 possessions a game. They're shooting the ball poorly. Worst field goal percentage team over that stretch, 41.8%, but 36 from 3. And Eric Spoelstra has never had a losing streak this long. What a coach he is. Jaquez is back. Jaime Jaquez missed the first 5 games of the streak. Duncan Robinson is in concussion protocol. And there it is, BJ in the house. He is here on the Heat money line. Miami Heat money line for BJ. Butler coming off a game-high 26. He's very angry with the way they've been playing defensively. And BJ taking the Heat here to stop this losing streak. Let's take a look at the line history and then hand it over to Dutch here. Also take a look at the who is a game time decision right now. Robinson out. There's nothing, and the Kings are a pretty healthy group. So line history wise here from a total scenario, we are sitting here with a 231. This opened up at 230.5. This got up to 232 before it started dropping. So it is at exactly where it opened. There's been a 4-cent move towards the under, and then point spread wise here. Sorry, let me get this better set up here. Point Spread wise, we are sitting here with Miami as 1.5 point favorites at -108. They opened up -1. Now they've got it to -1.5 a few times, back and forth. And then from a cash perspective here, we have 39% of the tickets and 45% of cash on the Kings, then 42% of tickets and 98% of cash on the under. Take it away for us here, Dutchy. Kings Heat, interesting one.
Yeah, man. Shout out to our boy Turnsy. You got to become a gold member, man. That's it, bro. Let's just become a gold member, and you get a horse, bro. But yeah, man. Good to see you in the chat, homie. Kings, man. Kings. I see BJ on Miami. I think if we went to the money, it would make sense, and you probably would say Miami's the play, Jim. It's kind of weird because I know last night the Kings were favored. I wake up Miami's favorite. I can't bet Miami though, man. This team's disgusting right now. 0-7 straight up. Last 7 against the number overall, too. They haven't covered 7 straight basketball games. Those average loss in these 7 games, Jim, 16 points per game. They haven't been close. 16 points per game in the 7-game stretch that since Spo signed that extension, they have not won a basketball game. And it has not been motherfucking pretty whatsoever. So could this be the spot? I thought it was against Miami. I really did. I thought there was a reason why they're favored by 3.5. They drops to 2. They get blown the fuck out. Duncan Robinson leaves the game sick. They can't buy a 3-pointer. Bam looks lost all of a sudden. I don't know what the fuck's going on. He looks lost out there. He had like a 2-foot shot. He shot it 2 foot over the hoop. It was insane. I said, was that Bam on bio or fucking? Yeah, it was ridiculous. It was hard to watch. I had to change the channel. Rozier, I like the trade, but it's not fitting so well. I don't know if they're mad that Kyle Lowry left, if they had a connection with Kyle Lowry, or if it's just taking a moment to get Terry Rozier in the scene. But most importantly, we know what it's about. It's about the perimeter. I mean, if Miami start knocking down these 3-pointers at the crib like they usually would do, then it's a different story. But Tyler Hero's missing wide open jumpers. Like, I just don't like what I'm seeing out of this team. So, but the numbers kind of don't really make sense to me as well. So I kind of see where BJ's going with this Heat play. But I mean, the Kings, you touched on it. They're playing good basketball. They've won 4 out of the last 5. 6-1 as a favorite. Last 7 is what I was like looking at. Okay, and now they flip to a dog, and they're 0-3 as a dog, Jim. So take that for what it's worth. However, our 9-3 ATS last 12 versus the Miami Heat. But these cats have always had kind of somewhat of a young team, and when this team heads to Florida, to South Beach, it doesn't end up too well for these boys. They're 2-18 straight up last 20 in South Beach. So Sacramento, it's a big travel for them. It's a long travel, and these motherfuckers enjoy the different climate there in South Beach and the scenery. 2-18. I mean, that's a long trend. So, but I look at it as De'Aaron Fox is going to be the best player on the court. Sabonis is doing what he wants, looks very comfortable. Keegan Murray's nice. Harrison Barnes is feeling himself in the corner. I can't go to the window with Miami. This game doesn't make too much sense to me, but if I had to bet it, it would be Sacramento Kings. Usually when it doesn't make sense, I just try to stay off of it, especially on a 9-game card. But there's no way I could bet Miami. But, their time is coming. Hopefully it's tonight for our boy BJ.
Yeah, I get it. And then Mikey Money saying Kings 22-4 against the spread is a favorite, or small dog on the road facing a team often against the spread loss or win by the hook. We'll see if he moves on that in last call this evening, but BJ's best bet is in. Best bets is in. And Lucky Lefty on the Heat first quarter -1.5 at +115. He is also on OKC, but that's not our next game. Let's go into our next game, 8 p.m. Eastern. New Orleans Pelicans, 26-21, 12-11 on the road. We already heard our guy Vipe moving on. The Pelicans money line got it at -125. At the Houston Rockets, 22-24, 17-8 at home. We're at the Toyota Center in Houston, Texas. Pelicans are just 1-4. Coming off their third straight loss, 118-112 at Boston on Monday. Just 1-4 over the past 5. 102 possessions in the game. That's 6th fastest. Houston 2-3, 4th fastest at 102.76 possessions a game. Both teams shooting very similarly. The New Orleans Pelicans 48.1 from the field, 33.5 from 3 over this 5-game stretch, while the Rockets are shooting at 49% and 32.2. Let's get into the line history. This opened up -2 and -109. This hasn't moved, and it hasn't left the number. We have a 3-cent move towards the Rockets. That's it. Hasn't moved off the number. Robert Franklin looking at the under here. This total opened up at 229.5, and it's all the way up to 232 right now over at Pinnacle. When we get to the cash flow for this Rockets spot, we have 34% of the tickets and 83% of the cash on the New Orleans Pelicans, but the line's not moving towards them. Then you have 62% of tickets, 99% cash on the under. So Pelicans, that third straight loss, 118-112 at Boston on Monday. Rockets coming off their second win in 3 games, 135-119 at home over the Lakers on Monday. Jalen Green goes for 34 and 12. The crazy thing about that was Jalen Green had never recorded 9 or more rebounds in his career. Went for 12. Over the past 3 games, Green averaging 29.7 points per game, 10.7 boards. He's playing well. Can he keep this going? Are the Rockets live as a home dog? Take it away, Dutch. Pelicanos, Rockets.
Man, I don't believe so here. I'm not too high on the Rockets, and I've been high on this Pelicano team. You know, they let me down a little bit here. It's what you get for, you know, fucking with a team that thinks Zion's the best player on the team. You know, this really comes down to, you know, BI got to be the best player on the court, in my opinion. And then also they got to knock down these perimeter shots, and it's led by CJ McCollum from the perimeter. They really live or die by this guy. And, you know, the Pelicanos first half has been real good money to me. They have lost 3 straight, though, and 2 to the Rockets already this year, Jim. A 3-point loss and a 2-point loss this year. Prior to that, they've had their way with the Houston Rockets. 8-3-1 ATS last 12 meetings and 8-4 straight up versus the Houston Rockets last 12. I just think they're just a better basketball team, just talent level, roster-wise, bench-wise. I mean, I just think they're better than the Houston Rockets. And the Houston Rockets are coming off a huge win. Obviously, Udoka. They finally played a little bit of defense and showed up for mainly on the offensive end against the Lakers and you know, played for the coach, I think, in that one and got a big win for him. But Houston has been struggling, have been okay against the number, but have lost 4 out of the last 8 straight up, or last 12 straight up. So not a team, you know, at the house, especially at the beginning of the year, they were simply bet on. Come back to reality a little bit, still pretty impressive home record overall, but I just think CJ McCollum is gonna start it by setting it up, hitting open shots, and BI will finish it. You know what you're gonna get out of Zion. He's gonna attack the rim. I like the big Val matchup here too. I think they don't really have any size for him down low. You know, the bench is better, the starting 5 is better. I just think that it's like -2. I like this game here, Jim. I think the Pelicanos are looking for a win. They're hungry. I would take them first half here as well, but I think they need to win a basketball game. So I'm going full game Pelicanos.
-2 at -106 for Dutch. Dutch on the board with the Pelicans -2.
I don't think they're going to be in 3 straight times this year, you know. My bad.
And this steps up here. 45 minutes into the live show that Dutch and Daby Cab will be co-hosting. So Pelicans -2 at -106. Let's move on to the next spot on the board. 8 p.m. Eastern, the Dallas Mavericks 26-21, 12-9 on the road. The Minnesota Timberwolves 33-14, 17-4 at home. And those paying big money for Minnesota Timberwolves tickets will be very excited to see the backcourt of Jaden Hardy and Tim Hardaway for this one. Unbelievable. So we have Luka out, Kyrie out, then you have Derek Lively out, and Jones Nexum game time decisions. Conley a game time decision as well. So too bad. But that's the situation. So the Minnesota Timberwolves are 12.5-point favorites. They opened up as 14-point favorites this morning at 7. There's been a 1.5 move towards Minnesota. Towards Dallas. When we get to the total here, we're sitting here at a 221. This opened up at 222.5 and dropped. Did it opened up at 222.5? Oh yeah, it dropped to 219. But we're back up at 221 here. And when we get to the cash flow for this one, we have 66% of tickets, 84% of the cash on the Dallas Mavericks, 58% of the cash, 59% Oh, sorry, 58% of tickets, 59% of cash on the over. So here we go. Dallas comes in off, and this was a 3.5. BJ says, we've seen this movie before. Starters ruled out and still find a way to win. Bad spot for Timberwolves coming off of a road trip. Yeah, I mean, who wouldn't have interest in Dallas at this price point? Dallas comes in off their second win in 3 games, 131-129 at home over Orlando on Monday. Luka went for 45, 15, and 9. Hardaway went for 36 and 8. Lively 20 and 11. Now just Hardaway is back for this one. And Timberwolves coming off their third win in 4 games, 107-101 at OKC on Monday. Is this a backwood? Do you trust the team without the players? Because they've been covering first quarters and first halves. Take it away, Dutch. Any interest here for Mavericks Timberwolves?
Yeah, man. When it comes to the Dallas Mavericks, no Luka, no bueno. But I see what you're saying. I see what BJ's saying in the chat too. But it's a clear yes. This is a real backwood, absolutely. But I do see like where if you're a complete degenerate and you want to bet this game, I mean, I see where there's value in Dallas at this point. But I mean, I don't think Kyrie's even suiting up either. So yeah, it's gonna be the Tim Hardaway show. Realistically. I just think the Wolves did what they put a lot of effort in that game against OKC after they backed in. Edwards has said a little bit about Shea getting all them calls in a tough game, and then they go back to OKC and beat them in a close game. So and they lost to Dallas in January 7th as a 2-point favorite. They lose that game outright. So I don't know if they, maybe if they do maybe they don't overlook Dallas here. And even with the in cruise control, given 60% of fuck about this game, could probably still run out the Dallas Mavericks B squad, right? So the Mavs are 1-5 ATS against the number 2 last 6 overall. So I could see the argument for Dallas with all the points, but I wouldn't be surprised if Minnesota is up by 25 in this basketball game.
Yeah. We've just seen it so often where this team steps up. The one of the problems here is that the guy you need to step up is coming off a 36-point game. Is he going to be able to follow that up again here?
And this team's a little different, man. Last time Luka was out, I believe, like when they're against Houston, people thought, it was too much. They're going to step. They got blown out by like 30. Like Houston just smacked them. And obviously the Wolves are a more talented team than Houston Rockets, in my opinion. But they played a little bit more without Luka, a little bit more lately. I just recall that a lot of people, the star's out now, he's gonna step up. Luka does so much for that basketball team. If they have Kyrie out there, that's okay because Kyrie is nice, especially when it's just like, hey, it's your show, Kyrie. We're gonna lose this basketball game anyway. Do your thing. Some real good things can happen, but with no Kyrie, no Luka, I mean, what the fuck you got out there?
Yeah, not appealing. Joseph Gomez says, if Dallas doesn't care with all their stars out, why should we care enough to give him, or should you care enough to give him your money? Look, I get that. I hear what you're saying, Joseph Gomez, but we've seen a ton over the last couple of years. These teams are missing their star players step up. But is that the kind of bias you want to have involved in the action? I can understand why most are backwooding it. Shout out to Parl Angel. I hope you had a great birthday. Said it was birthday yesterday, and Pete delivered. Birthday record now 1-1, and he's on the under 146.5 at Dayton game. Happy belated, my man.
Oh yeah, we hit our birthday pick last week, I think, Jim. Did we?
Yeah, we did, man. Yeah. No, it's and I've not been very good on birthday picks over the last little while after I had that double-digit winning streak snapped for birthday picks. But yeah, happy belated Parl Angel, my man. All right, let's roll on. 8 p.m. Eastern. Orlando Magic 24-23, 9-16 on the road at San Antonio Spurs, 10-37, 5-18 at home. We're at Frost Bank Center in San Antonio, Texas. Both teams 2-3 over their past 5. Orlando continuing to play at this very slow pace. Now second slowest in the league over the stretch, 95 possessions a game, a little faster than what it was. Moneyline Mills in the house, nice to see you, man. Von Polo rolling with us. Spurs here also 2-3 over the past 5, playing 99.60 possessions a game, 48.5% from the field, 34.1% from 3. Mike says you guys should have gone to Vegas for Pablo Blues. It'd be more fun, I think. Mike, I understand why that would be the thought, but Slaughter owns a bar with 10 TVs, a studio, and it's heaven. We don't leave. We never leave. There's a cloud of smoke in the parking lot, and everybody's in this room hammering action together. So I can understand that, and we'll do a Vegas trip and things like that, but it is this is meant to be at the Southtown 101 But I feel you. And with Texas is going to legalize sports gambling soon, and Southtown and pubs going to be at the forefront of all that. Thanks to the new owners of the Mavericks. I think that's the whole reason why the Cuban got involved. But that's another point. But I hear what you're saying, Mike. But it is perfect. It's the perfect situation in San Antonio. But let's roll here. Let's take a look at the line history for Magic San Antonio. San Antonio is sitting here as 5.5-point dogs. Slaughter also working on getting a box for us for Spurs Suns on the Saturday night. This opened up at 4.5 and is now at 5.5. So it moved to 5.5 24 minutes ago at Pinnacle. So Orlando, it's moved 1 point in their direction. From the total side of things here, we have a 226. This opened up at 228.5 and has dropped to 226. So a 2.5-point move towards the under. Get to the cash flow for this one. God, sorry, one too many here. What the hell's wrong with me? Where's here we go. We have 72% of the tickets and 89% of the cash on the Magic. A lot of money on the Magic. Moved a point in their direction. 49% of the tickets, 61% cash on the under. Magic coming up their third loss in 4 games, 131-129. Dallas on Monday. Banchero is playing very well. 36-9 on Monday. Wagner went for 21. Franz. Moritz went for 16. Black went for 20 off the bench. Cole Anthony, 11. God, I can't even say his name without thinking about him and Unlaced Timberlands ruining the dunk contest forever. The Magic and his dad watching, who is, the Grizzlies, Vancouver Grizzlies star. Just
He had his dad's jersey on or something, right?
Oh, God. I mean, his dad was, oh, God. That was just whatever. At least he's in the NBA. So the Magic are playing the second game of a home road back-to-back. They were without Markelle Fultz for left knee injury maintenance. He's expected to be back in the lineup here. Spurs had their 2-game winning streak snapped in 118-113 loss at home to the Wizards on Monday. Devin Vassell led with 24. Victor Wemby went for 22 and 11. Chetty went for 20. Keldon went for 14. Trey Jones went for 11. This is game 5 of a 7-game homestand. Honestly, I thought this was a great spot for the Spurs. The public all over the Magic. We've seen it now move a point in their direction. Take it away for us here, Dutch Magic Spurs.
Yeah, man, I'm right with you, Jim. I don't bet San Antonio though. Here, I got a couple little bummies on my card today, though. So we'll get to them. But this one definitely leans Spurs here. Magic just haven't been, that good of a basketball team of late. I know they're getting healthy. I know Banchero's, a man child. But these guys have they have a tendency just to fucking turn it over like it's the thing to do. I know Suggs has his moments, but he looks out of control an awful lot. And it's not a team that shoots consistently from the perimeter as well. So a team that turns the ball over a lot and can't make a fucking reliable jump shot is a very frustrating team. It's the reason why they've lost 8 out of the last 11 basketball games, 1-5 straight up last 6 on the road, and they're 1-5 ATS last 6 versus the San Antonio Spurs against the numbers. So Spurs fucked around, been playing a little bit better basketball, but they seem to play really good against Orlando. Won 6 out of the last 7 meetings versus these boys. 12-2 straight up last 14 at home versus the Magic. And they've covered 11-4 ATS last 15 overall. So if you've been betting the San Antonio Spurs, you've been actually profitable, very profitable of late. And they are 8-3 against the Eastern Conference against the number last 11. So everything does point to San Antonio. To be quite honest with you, Jim, I just, you're going to need a big game from Wemby, obviously. Vassell, a big game, probably killed his name, but I know he's been catching it. He's been putting in buckets a lot. He's starting to see what he looked like at the start of the season. I could only bet San Antonio here, but I can't do it, man. But they're definitely a live dog in my opinion.
The problem is the Magic are an angry group. That was a tough loss against Dallas.
Yeah, that was. They did play pretty well against Dallas. But they've been angry, man. They continue to lose.
You're right. No, you're absolutely right. And they've been bad on the road. And they've had every opportunity to have a cushion in their division, and they don't have it. All right, let's move on. 8 p.m. Eastern, Denver Nuggets 33-15, 14-11 on the road at the Oklahoma City Thunder. 32-15, 17-6 at home at Paycom. Denver 4-1 over their past 5. They're coming off their second straight win, 113-107 at home over the Bucks on Monday. Over their past 5, they're 4-1, playing at the 27th fastest pace in the league, 95.9 possessions a game, and shooting the ball poorly from 3. 30.1% are the Nuggets. That's no one's shooting worse over these last 5 games. 46.7 from the field. OKC 49.1% from the field, 35.8% from 3. Take a look at the line history here for this one. The Thunder are 2-point favorites here. They opened up as +1. That was at 7:05 this morning. Within 9 minutes, they were the favorite. So this flipped, and they were back at +1 again 2 hours ago. But it's actually moved to 1.5, not 2. Sorry. So this is moving quickly. They were -2 5 minutes ago, but in the last 3 minutes, it's moved to 1.5, and that's where they stand right now. Not only did it move to 1.5, but it moved to a juiced 1.5 for Denver. So the line's moving back to Denver. Moneyline Mills says, give me the spicy Nuggets. Justin McKelvey on Nuggets +100. North Ender says OKC for him. Kelly McKinnon says, send in my paperwork for a pardon. So maybe you can get Pubapalooza next year. Oh, I love hearing that, Kelly. I love hearing that, my man. Voodoo Ranger says, way behind the live stream, but what a horse race. Love you, Voodoo. Okay, so that is the situation here. We haven't talked about the total, though. The total here is at 228.5. Opened up at it's now just dropped to 227.5. There's a lot of movement here in the last couple minutes. So it just moved a half point towards the under. And then when we take a look at the cash flow for this one, we have 37% of tickets and 43% of cash on the Nuggets. 79% of tickets and 99% of cash on the under. While Brent Cook says OKC has there's 2 starters with ankle issues. Right now, you have Chet, a game time decision, a Shea game time decision, Lou Dort, a game time decision, Isaiah Joe out, Williams out. So it's a pretty beat up squad. I guess they just took the GTD off of Shea. So it looks like the shoot around Shea is going to be fine and good to go here. So here we go. Nuggets coming off their second straight win. Jokic rolling, dealing with lower back pain, though. He's only missed 1 game this season, dealing with lower back pain. Thunder coming off their second straight loss, at home. Oh, no, sorry. It was at a win over the Timberwolves on Monday. What the hell do I have here? My bad. Let me get this fixed. That is annoying here. So, sorry, very quickly here. The Thunder coming off their second straight loss, 107-101 at home to Minnesota. They lost at Detroit, 120-104, and didn't properly bounce back. And then you have Chet coming off a 4-point night. He's been rolling and playing so well, and now he's a game-time decision. BJ says Nuggets money line. OKC is a losing skid dealing with health. They swept the Nuggets in Denver, so he likes the Nuggets money line. And we only have love for the Nuggets money line other than North Ender, who says Shea and Lou Dort both at the shoot-around. Take it away, Dutch. What are your thoughts here? Nuggets, Thunder.
Yeah, man, I think the Thunder are in a little bit of slump here. Lot said, obviously with Lou Dort, Lou Dort will play, I believe, and I think all 3 of the questionables will play, but they're all 3 a little bit banged up. But not having Isaac Joe and one of the Williams boys, Jalen Williams, out, I think is big here too when you're talking about the Denver Nuggets. Now they have lost 2 straight. The Thunder have, but December 29th they were in Denver and smacked a 26-point win versus the Nuggets. So I believe they remember that. That was on their home court. The Thunder did that to Denver. I believe they remember that here. It's kind of a get-right spot. Call it a revenge, if you would. 6-1 straight up last 7 in OKC. The Denver Nuggets are 14-6 straight up last 20 meetings versus these boys. They have won 5 out of the last 6 overall. Now the last road game the Denver Nuggets had, they went to New York and got smacked. I was on the Knickerbockers here, so I like to see it. But a 38-point loss, I did not expect that. So last time these boys were on the road, a ass whooping. So I think they're eager to get back on the road against a team that gave them an ass whooping in the crib. And coming off a nice win here against Milwaukee, should be feeling good. I think Joker's back will be all right. Most importantly, they need Michael Porter. You're going to get Jamal Murray. Michael Porter has got to bring his game outside of Denver. He's got to be more consistent. Sometimes he just looks like he's just 6'8", just 6'8", just out there. This guy's multi-talented, can rebound. It's got a lethal jumper, so can go to the holes at will too, and really can. And he's a reliable free throw shooter. So I want to see a little bit more out of him. I like what I see him out of Aaron Gordon, and you got Colwell Pope, one of the more better perimeter defenders, to kind of contain, I guess you could say, Shea a little bit, who's a little banged up with that ankle as well. So I think it's a nice Thunder spot here. Or excuse me, I think it's a nice spot for the Nuggets here. A beat up Thunder team that's not too healthy. And also, I just think the Nuggets are remember that ass whooping that they gave them in, back in late December at the crib. And also just getting their ass whooped in New York. 38-point loss for the defending champions. I think they remember that a little bit.
Plus 2.5, best line available, -110. Would you rather look money line?
I'll take the points.
Plus 2.5. That's available right now at my bookie. It's quite a bit different than the other lines, but I went to their site and it is not a stale line. It's available right now, plus 2.5, -110 at my bookie. Dutch has moved on the Nuggets, rolling with BJ on this one. We have 2 games left on today's show. Let's move on to the next spot on the board. 8:30 p.m. Eastern. Phoenix Suns 27-20, 13-9 on the road. The Brooklyn Nets 19-27, 12-12 at home at Barclays Center, Brooklyn, New York. Phoenix 3-2 over their past 5, playing at the 18th fastest pace, the exact same pace as Brooklyn, by the way, exact same pace. And Phoenix shooting the ball very well, as you guys know, 54.7% from the field over the last 5 games. No team close. 38.8 from 3. Brooklyn shooting 47.8 from the field and 37.3 from 3 over this 5-game stretch. Let's get into the line history here for this one. I am interested in this one quite a bit. From this, we have Brooklyn at +3, -110. They opened up +3.5. So there's been a half-point move towards Brooklyn. From a total scenario here, we have it at 233. This opened up at 232.5. So a slight move. It is juiced to the under. Very slight move. Then cash flow for this one. You have 52% of the tickets and 76% of the cash on the Phoenix Suns, and lines moving towards Brooklyn. 54% of tickets and 91% cash on the under. Suns snapped their 2-game losing streak with a 118-105 win at Miami on Monday. This is their 3rd game in 4 nights. It's their 4th game in 6 nights. And, the story about KD not wanting the tribute video, it is what it is. I don't think it's a big deal. I agree with him with what I said. He just said he didn't want one. He didn't deserve one. I mean, I almost feel like Brooklyn's going to give him the video just so he'll get booed. They're just messing with him, but the guy doesn't care. He's not going to get messed with here. But he's been great here for the Suns this year, averaging 27.9 points a game. Phoenix has won 13 of their last 18. And on Monday, he didn't need to step up here. He put up 20 against Heat. He's been just playing within himself, playing within the game. Eric Gordon led the team with 23. The bench is starting to play well for the Suns. That's coming off their 2nd straight win, but it is their 4th game in 6 nights. A 3rd game in 4 nights. I would like to fade them, and that's coming off their 2nd straight win. The problem is they just looked so good in that win. Now Ben Simmons returned. He'd missed 38 games. Simmons comes back. Of course, he's a game time decision here. Finney Smith is out and Sharp is out. Simmons brings a lot to the table. He played 18 minutes and went for 10 points, 11 assists, and 8 boards. They were plus 27 with him on the floor. Bridges, went for 33. Cam Thomas went for 25. They had 41 assists. They hit 21 threes. Did they look too good? Is that a problem? Are we certain that Ben Simmons is going to be on the floor? What if he's not? Do we need to then wait for Simmons to be on the floor to trust here? Let's hear what Dutch has to say. Suns, Nets, take it away.
Yeah, man, I like the Nets here. I think you touched on a lot with the Suns. They're a tired basketball team, man. This is the 4th game in 6 nights, the 5th game of a 7-game road trip. Dallas, Indiana, Orlando, Miami, and obviously now here in Brooklyn, where the Nets have been at home for 10 fucking days, man. They've won 2 straight, feeling themselves. They got Ben back in there playing a good game off the bench. He came off the bench, already with this knee soreness. If he plays, he plays. I just simply think these boys are going to play with a chip. Specifically, Mikal Bridges, who's really playing back to where, when he first got traded there type of numbers. He's playing a lot better than he was, knocking down that open corner, attacking the hole, playing with extreme confidence right now, going against his old team. Cam Johnson as well. I like what I see out of these boys right now. They're getting good enough. Lonnie Walker off the bench. Dennis Smith Jr. is giving them numbers off the bench. And Cam Thomas can give you 30, 40 at any time. So I think that but what it comes down to is KD pretty much said, none of you motherfuckers are good enough for me. And he did. And then Phoenix said, you motherfuckers, Mikal and Cam aren't good enough to win where we want to win at the level we want to win at. So gave them away. So I think you got a team that's obviously we know the talent's there. I think they're just gonna come in there with an extreme chip. KD, you said it, he don't give a fuck. He don't give a fuck. I mean, Brooklyn went there December 13th to Phoenix and won outright as a 4.5-point dog, 116-112. The Suns, to me, tired basketball team, don't care as much about this game as a team that the Brooklyn Nets do. They just care too much about this basketball game. So I think they win it outright. I'll take the points, though.
Yeah, I'd like to ride with you on this. I think this makes sense. I think it makes sense. So let's see if we can beat a 3 here. It'd be nice to see if we can beat a 3, but I plan on joining here. We can get you better than a 3 too, because this is it's juiced pretty heavy to Phoenix here at that number. So let's get Pinnacle up here and give you a better number. So we can get you plus 3.5 minus 111.
Like it. Bet
yeah. I'm going to bet that as well. I expect to. Plus 3.5 minus 111 for a Dutch on the Brooklyn Nets. Do you think the booing and the vitriol is going to? I know that Durant doesn't care that much, but do you think it might push him to be great?
Nah, I don't know. KD's the guy. KD's the type of guy to me. I've seen him fold in the biggest moments. So if any, I hope they do that shit. He might get pissed off and start pressing a little bit. I don't know. I expect KD to have a decent game. I just think they're top heavy. They're tired. The size outside of Nurkic isn't really going to affect what Brooklyn doesn't have in size outside of Claxton. So it's a good spot here for me. I think KD can get 30, and they still lose. Man, their defense is pretty suspect. I hope Ben plays too, because I think it gives them extra juice.
Probable.
Helps them from a defensive perspective. He really is a damn good defender, and he can run the point too. So, and Dinwiddie's so damn suspect. I expected him to play. The questionable, I was surprised to see that, but I'm like, he gonna play against KD and these boys.
Let's roll. And Kelly McInnes, you being on the Suns first half is not a bet. We can all cash, my man. So, but Lucky Lefty says if they do boom, he's going to rain 3s. Bo Jackson thinking that he's soft, and BJ also liking the Nets here. So we're in good company there. I plan to move on the Nets spot. So my card's starting to come together. Let's talk about the final game on the board here. Milwaukee Bucks 32-15, 11-10 on the road. The Portland Trailblazers 14-33, 8-13 Moda Center, Portland, Oregon. Milwaukee 3-2 over the past 5, playing at the third fastest pace in the league, 103.30 possessions a game, 46.9% from the field and 37.4% from 3. Of course, this is all about Dame time making his return to Portland. So that is the most important thing in this game here, is that he's returning. So where does that take you? This total opened up at 237.5. It's now at 237. So it's a half-point move towards the under. And from a spread perspective here, Portland right now plus 10.5 at Pinnacle. They opened up at 9.5. The first move was towards Portland, but then it's now at 10.5. Then let's take a look at the cash flow here for this one. You have 24% of the tickets on the Blazers, but 49% of the cash. Now the line is moving towards the Bucks. 39% tickets, 93% cash on the over here. And Portland's playing okay. 2-3 over the past 5, 22nd fastest pace, 46.5% from the field and 35.5 from 3. So, and everyone's expecting Dame to get a lot of love in Portland. 11 years with them, franchise all-time leader in points and threes. And he played against the Blazers in Milwaukee. He put up 31 in that 108-102 victory, averaging 25.1 points per game. Going to be an all-star. Bucks coming off their second loss in 3 games, 113-107 on Monday. And that was at Denver. And so we have game 2 here for Doc Rivers. Giannis went for 29 and 12. Of course, they're coming off losing the first game for Doc. Blazers snapped their 2-game losing streak with a 130-104 victory at home over the Sixers on Monday. Jeremy Grant went for 27. Brogdon 24 and 9. Scoot went for 22. And of course, Philly was playing without Embiid and Tyrese Maxey. But this is their third game in 4 nights. This is their fourth game in 6 nights. Take it away for us here, Dutch. Bucks, Blazers.
Yeah, and Milwaukee's a top-heavy team as well. I look at this game, man. I'm on the Blazers here, Jim. I'm on the Blazers here, and you touched on that. Game in Milwaukee, November 26th. They're a 12.5-point dog. Lose that game by 6 in Milwaukee. The Blazers fucked around, covered 6 out of last 9 basketball games overall, and 5-1 ATS against the number of last 6 at the crib. And when I look at it here, I do believe, coming off of that trip out of the Mile High, the altitude as well, traveling to Portland, I think they're going to be a little lackadaisical, to be quite honest with you. And I think Portland can exploit them in their big weakness, which is guarding the perimeter with Simon. They got Simons, they got Brogdon, and of course, Scoot Henderson off the bench. 3 guys that I believe that can pretty much get buckets anytime they want against this suspect Milwaukee Bucks perimeter defense. Also, Aiden inside can bang a little bit with Brook. But yeah, I think Portland hangs around here. I think it's the same kind of thing, man. They're gonna, the crowd can give Dame his shine, his love, but the team, they gotta feel some type of way. This motherfucker pretty much said, "You guys ain't good enough. I got to get the fuck up out of here." So I look for guys like Jeremy Grant to have a big game tonight. I think Simons has a big game tonight. I think Milwaukee's going to have trouble stopping this team from a defensive perspective. I'm not saying they're going to lose this game, but Portland will definitely be in this game at the crib. I think they get juiced up for the Dame time return. Role players play real big. But Jeremy Grant, I think, has a big night. And I definitely think Simons, Scoot Henderson, and Brogdon will definitely all chip in, in a 3-piece. And I don't want to say outplay Dame, but Dame will do his thing, but I don't expect Dame to have a great game tonight. I expect them to send an awful lot of defense at Dame and not let him shine in Portland.
Do you want the plus 10.5 at -104 or the plus 11 at -115?
I'll take the 10.5.
Plus 10.5 at -104 for Dutch. You have a very interesting card tonight, which is going to make the live show a lot of fun. Let's review all action here, and I've got some more work to kind of clean up. I still want Kobe White over 34.5 points, rebounds, and assists. And
my card's a little different today. I know it's like a little different with the 2 dogs, but I like them.
I want the Pistons plus 12.5. I expect to get there. We're off Clippers, Washington. BJ's best bet, Miami Heat money line. Dutch and I are off that spot at this point. Dutch gets his card started here with the Pelicans, -2, -106. Dallas, Minnesota, and Orlando, San Antonio, we've stayed off. Dutch on the Nuggets, plus 2.5 at -110. Dutch on the Nets, plus 3.5 at -111. I'm going to join him on that one. Then he's on the Blazers, plus 10.5, -104. Interesting cards, going to make tonight a lot of fun.
Yes, sir.
That is our guy, Dutch Boy Fresh's action. And that concludes our NBA segment and our show for today. Dutch going to rock with us in the poker tournament. I'm so excited, Dutch. We'd love it if you could jump on screen with us too. Figure out how you want to handle it. There is only the one break, and I'll fix that. Everything else is in business. Pub Sports Bowl, $50 buy-in, $25 add-on an hour in. Unlimited rebuys for the first hour, and late registration, we extended it to an hour. So basically, after that break, it's game on. So the first hour is kind of a little messy, and then you get the add-on, and it's game on here. And we're also going to have a last longest that you can get involved in if you're interested in as well. The winner of that in our last one was Ramon Scott. Ramon Scott, who will be rocking with us.
He's an old dealer, right?
Say what, man?
Number 4, Ramon Scott. He knows about poker. He's a dealer.
There it is.
There you go, Jose. Yeah, man. Yeah, for motherfuckers that are a little slow, the last song is just simply you put money, whoever, everyone bets, and then whoever's the last person who bets, don't matter who wins the tournament, it's just the last out of that gets that prize pool. So it's just to make it a little bit more intriguing, fun shit.
It's
talking.
Fun. And
yeah.
you can't rebuy. If you first not, you have to last with your first buy-in.
Yeah, it's your first bullet. Yeah. So it's good. And if a lot of people get in, it could be a nice little fucking side change when you last longer, So
yeah, man.
Good thing to be last longer, most definitely. But yeah, I'll do it. Once you get to the final table, I'll jump on screen. We can vibe the fuck out for sure. Yeah, but most definitely, always good to vibe out with you, Jim. Definitely check out that poker tournament on Bet Online and check us out tonight. All about the sport, all about the hoops. My boy Daby Cab co-hosting it. Billy Briz will be in the building. We got Trout Wham, LJ from Sports Media. LJ H-Town's finest will be in the building. Hopefully, we get Conor Mac slide through. Have a good motherfucking time. All about the hoops right here. Post Sports Radio, 7:15 Eastern Time. Appreciate you, Jim.
Love it, man. There's our guy, Dutch Boy Fresh, in business here every Wednesday on Pub Sports Radio. Dutch, thank you for rocking with us. Let's review all action. Here. First off, we had Clint. Let's talk about sports that we don't cap here on the show right now. First off, Clint gave us his looks for UFC. We thank you for that. He makes it a point to jump in and let us know what he's on. By the way, Stimmy OG big on the Mavericks plus 13.5 and the over 220. God, that is appealing here. So there's Clint's action here. And then Razor Sharp picks on Friday. He gave out his whole card here on for Gulfstream, and the pick 5 cashed for $1,000. Here is our guy Razor's action. I'll pop that in the chat. And thank you to both you guys for rolling with us and giving us their action. NHL, I'm locked and loaded. I've got more to add, but we have the spreadsheet play today from Ron Crawford is on the Detroit Red Wings. I'm on the Detroit Red Wings -1 at plus 125. And we'll see how that bangs out. I'm going to have an action on each game. These are the last couple games before the All-Star break. I'm going to move on the under with CMac. He's on the under 6, and he's on the Predators. By the way, Kenny Ken in line with our guy Clint's UFC action. So Philly Eagle Fly are going to be on the Predators. CMac on the Predators. I'm off a side on that one, but I'm going to be on the under. And then I'm going to move on the Ducks -1. I really believe that the number is there for a reason. And this horrific 7-17-1 team at home, it's there for a reason. Let's get our guy Jose Bouquet back in business here. Jose, don't think I didn't know that we're actually tied atop the leaderboard in the confidence pool. Don't try.
Yeah, I've heard rumors of a potential 4-way tie.
It's possible. I don't think everybody's going to be on the same side, though.
Yeah, I'm not telling anyone what side I'm going to be on, unfortunately. Preston already asked me. I'm not telling him. Like, fortunately, I can't tell you, but we assume we're on the 49ers.
We are ahead of Preston, though.
Are we?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Well, yeah, I was extremely nonplussed at the Ravens' performance. I was extremely, extremely angry, but yeah, it's going to be fun. Shout out to Uncle Jonathan as well being in here as well.
Uncle Jay in business here. Uncle Jay in business here. So that's NHL for us. I'd be curious to hear what spots you've jumped on here after listening to the whole show. So let us know that in a second. CMac on Georgia plus 6.5. He's on Xavier -1.5. I'm very interested in joining him on that. Jay Smooth Balls play today. St. John's Xavier under 157. CMac's on the under 139 in Baylor UCF. Ron Crawford spreadsheet play today is Baylor. CMac's on the over 155 in Rice Memphis. And he's on the under 144 in Penn State Rutgers. I'm going to be on Rutgers first half. By the way, Ray D'Amico jumped in the chat, wanted us to know that his best spot here is Virginia Notre Dame under in Virginia Notre Dame. Daby Cab doubled up on Baylor first half and full game. And then he's on Kentucky -5.5. And resisting it all gave us the under 171.5 in the Florida Kentucky spot. Then Mikey Money gave us Purdue first half and full game -7.5, -13 respectively. Xavier money line, Richmond money line. Then he gave us Chattanooga +5. He's going right up against Justin McKelvey's stacks play of the day. North Florida first half and full game for Mikey Money, and Boise State +11. And Viper NB gave us Joker over 8.5 assists, Van Fleet over 14.5 points, Van Fleet over 2.5 threes, and the Pelicans money line. And tell me, Jose, please. Oh, Jonathan Yim said, when are we breaking down the Super Bowl? We're having a meeting about that here shortly, so I will let you know exactly when that is. But I have a pitch that I'm making here, so we'll be hammering that very, very soon, because we're gonna have a Super Bowl NFL pop up before the Super Bowl, and I know when I want to have it. So as soon as Slaughter confirms that, I'll let everybody know. Jose, what are you moving on?
I haven't moved on anything today, but I will give out a bet. I did bet today. It's a future. I was shocked to see it. Now I am, and by the way, Jimmy, I've another rule I've established myself for this baseball season. I will not be betting the Red Sox. I will be keeping track of how many days I will be not betting the Red Sox. It'll be a thing as well. But I'm betting Liverpool to win the Premier League plus 175. And I think that was what it was. Let me double check actually, because Manchester City, they usually win it every year, blah, 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 backed by Saudi Arabian, blah, 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 blah. We all got that. No, 225, excuse me. But I bet them at 225. Here's the thing. Liverpool's already up on top, 5-point lead. They've battled Man City in the previous years before. And the big emotional factor is that their head coach is leaving. Shout out to my guy, Jurgen Klopp. He's leaving. Already said he was going to leave at the end of the season. So the boys are going to be super fired up. They're actually still in play for 4 trophies. So that's going to be an issue. Excuse me. But they know, or I think everyone knows that people care about the league more. So plus 225 Liverpool to win the Premier League. I thought that was fucking crazy. I thought there would be favorites at the very least, but I bet it. I put 2 units on it. I just thought that was fucking nuts. So,
you know what? Yeah, if you, I have not studied that at all. So, but yes, Billy Friedrich, you came very close. You were in the running in that one. Had a chance, but Saturated was our winner in the horse race. Do you think that it's good doing the 2-hour horse race, or do you think we should do it for like a minute or 2 minutes and have it all amped up for that short?
I don't know. I think tomorrow or Friday. By the way, Coin DM me on Twitter. I think he DM'd you, never got to me, so I need to send him his monies as well.
Okay, he's got it from me.
Okay, good. Or send me his information as well, please.
Sure.
But Friday, I think we'll do a shorter horse race during the wrap up of the show, because admittedly we almost missed it again here today. You saved our balls there. So
no, I had my eye on it the whole time. I had my eye on it. That was
good. I had my eye on it, and then I realized when you said something, I was like, oh fuck. But yes, tomorrow or Friday's horse race, we'll do 2 minutes. We'll do it at the end of the wrap up. Give everyone plenty of time to sign up for a horse, because I see a lot of people asking.
Look at that. Joker out.
Boy. Yeah, I guess I'd be an OKC then. I wonder what that line's going to move. I wonder how that line's going to move, because
that is
it should be at least OKC -3, right? Because it was -1 earlier. We'll see. I don't know. I don't like betting on the NBA, obviously, but
that is a big news to close out our show. Thank you to everybody supporting us here on Pub Sports Radio. Thank you to all the members and all the gold members. $50 horse races every Wednesday and Friday. And of course, our poker tournament on Friday. At this point, just Jose and myself are.
I'll battle you for those chips if it's just up to. I'll go tooth and nail and scrap for every chip if it was just us two.
We'll fill up, and we'll have our live stream accompanying it at 7:45 p.m. Thank you guys so much for supporting the show. Mikey, North Ender, Billy Friedrich, Philly Eagle, Flyer, Bo Jackson, Jonathan Yim, Nasty Nate, Morgan Spooner, Dabra Kadabra, Kenny Ken, Lucky Lefty, Stimmy OG. What a great group. Kelly McInnes, Dav Fenn, Justin McKelvey, Kongs Clips. Thank you guys so much. Robert Franklin, Brent Cook. Thank you guys. Truly thank you. Nice to be back in business with you guys. Excited about the week, excited about the possibilities, and need to have a successful week. So let's go out there and get that cash. Jose, my friend, can you please bless our action and let's us into the future?
Of course. One final time today. We'll keep repeating it. God damn it. Pubapalooza, middle of March, 3rd weekend in March. By the way, Pete changed his flight successfully, so he's coming still. Shout out to Loshak for being an adult and being able to do that. We've got the poker tournament on Friday. And by the way, this is one of those opportunities, like if you're I don't know, Jonathan Yim, or who had the radio voice again? Was it North Ender?
No, it is Real Deal Prime.
Real Deal Prime. Maybe you're Real Deal Prime. Maybe you're a guy that has not been on screen with us ever before and wants to do this stuff, wants to talk ball. The poker tournament is a perfect spot for you to get your feet wet, come join us. We're not talking about anything specific. We're just bullshitting around, talking cards when we can't, get an action in there. So if you're interested in joining us, just jump on in. DM me on Twitter. It'll be a lot of fun. And by the way, yes, Kelly, that is accurate. He does have people. That's what he said. He said, yeah, I got people to make those things for me. So shout out to Peter Loshak. But yes, if you're interested in joining us on the screen, DM me. Coin, I got to send you your money now because you never DM me, you son of a bitch. But congratulations. All you guys, we appreciate it. Nasty Nate, congratulations on your Airbnb. I'm sure we'll be there a lot. And I cannot wait for Daby Cab to just get his ass whooped in ping pong again. My God. I'll line Jimmy at minus 200 against Daby Cab. Anyone wants the action, I'll be here because, God damn it, you have to back your family in drunken games of ping pong. God damn it. Appreciate everyone, and let's fucking milk those bookies today. Late change those bookmakers.